Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go Cubby, Ranto, Ranto and the lovable losers. Ranto and the lovable losers. Ranto.
Hey, welcome to the Ranto Show. I'm Danny Rocket, wondering why people don't dance like this anymore, with the fingers wagging in the air, going back and forth. I don't know. But yeah, I'm in a finger wagging move. Hi, my name's Danny Rocket. I am one of the hosts of the Ranto Show, brought to you by the Bleacher Bunch Productions on the Fans First Network, which also hosts great shows like Cup of Cubby Blue, the Cubs PS Plus podcast, and of course, Baseball Rabbit Hole. I'm joined tonight by infield fly girl, who is up in you're in Seattle right now, I take it. That's your normal studio room. And also Michael Cotton. He's in Iowa right now, and I
am in Iowa City, Iowa, to be clear. There's a huge difference between this place and most of the rest of the state.
Yeah. I would say that about Chicago and the rest of Illinois too. But
exactly.
So what's everybody drinking tonight? IFG, what you cracking open?
So I have from Stoop Brewing here in the Seattle area. Stoop. This one, I spend a lot of time in breweries and stuff like that, and I try to be really kind of particular in the beers that I pick for the show, and I try to match them up. And this is one that I was saving for a really good Kyle Hendricks start. And then the season happened. So I have.
So you've had it a long time, is what you're saying,
right? And so since we're going to be talking about things that we've learned over the last month, I am drinking from Stoop Brewing the Thesis Generator IPA with a nice 6.9% alcohol by volume.
Oh, nice!
And look at that! It's like a word processor. Do you remember word processors?
Yeah, is it a word processor, or is that like the original Apple II?
Yeah, I think my dad had that one. I'm not sure. That's an old computer. That's got to be from the 70s. Well, that sounds interesting. You're pouring it, so we'll find out how it tastes soon. But what are you drinking, Michael Cotton?
I took a note from. Yeah, I took a note from IFG and I matched it up to this is Equilibrium, and they are a New York State brewery. They are from Middletown, New York, but this is called Astrophysics, and they claim it is beer balanced by science. So
whatever.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm getting smarter just by drinking a few of these.
We'll see about that. I'm the one drinking caffeine, so I think I'm going to get smarter by the second. I got my mate cup in my Cubs mug, but
now is that it's you call it mate? Is it yerba mate, or is it
okay? Yerba mate tea. You drink it with the Bombija straw. And I've been just enjoying getting all jazzed up on the show. It just makes me angrier, but it gets more fun to do this show when I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack. You know what I mean? It's just like it's been that way since my rock and roll days. You know, if you're not almost gonna die on stage, it's really not worth doing. Captain Charisma, what was that comment you just brought on?
He says, "Wish our bullpen was also balanced by science."
Me too.
It would be nice.
Yeah, we can even be better than we are.
I have to admit, this is a very well balanced hazy IPA. It's really got that fruity hazy taste, and then hits you with the real bitter after, which I love.
You can see right through it. You can't see through it. It's freaking.
It's so funny. Like hazy IPAs, I have such a tumultuous relationship with. Like sometimes I'll just drink. I think it's the texture, because they're so unfiltered and they've got a thickness to them. But there's a lot of times I will take a big sip of a hazy IPA and I'm like, this just tastes like somebody left a bottle of pineapple juice out in the sun.
Yeah, that's what I think they all taste like personally. I don't really like the hazies. It's very nectary. in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
they're much.
Yours looks golden and clear and light and
It-
crisp, and
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Look how pretty that color is. And it's pretty tasty. It's a nice mild flavor.
Yeah, mine didn't even say it was a hazy. It's just a regular IPA according to them, but that's not the case.
well,
And yours is an IPA as well, right?
Yes,
IPA?
yes.
isn't everything these days?
This one claims
it's an IPA. Everything is.
yeah, this one here claims to have aromas of pink grapefruit, berry, and pineapple. And yeah, there we go.
I personally, it tastes like I just took a bite out of a pine tree.
Yeah, those are the
Pretty nice
straight
with
up
the coffee
IPAs.
here.
So Seth Kennedy brings this up. So it does make sense that you're drinking this IFG because Kyle did have a good start today. 6 scoreless with 7 strikeouts at AA. I was going to bring that up later in the show, but might as well bring it up now.
At AA?
Yeah. Hey, you know. Look, baby
You gotta
steps.
rehab somewhere.
I mean, it's
Exactly.
better than getting shelled in IPA
Exactly.
or IPA. Got IPA.
All
on
I
the
know
mind.
is that
double A.
he's healthy enough to pitch, and that's all I care about.
Exactly.
This show is also brought to you by our 108 paid Patreon supporters. And I say paid because some of you guys, your credit cards have expired. So please go take a look on your Patreon account because I know you're meaning to support us, but you're not. But I want to thank Terry, who joined on this month, and Moni from the Netherlands, and Lex C., who joined on as a trial member. Thank you very much. Patreon.com/sunranto is where you can join us post-show today, where we will chat about all things Cubs, whatever you want to talk about over on the Discord, because you can only join Discord if you're a Patreon member. Also, later on the show, I'm going to tell you exciting news about one of our super duper ranters, Blake Beard, and his magical tickets, which he's upgraded his tickets. He's on the aisle. He's even closer to home plate, and he's actually raffling his tickets off through Club 400. I'm going to drop a link to that later in the show, but he brings you this show. So does Rogue Wave Creative and Mike Waller and the Cubs PS Plus podcast and all of our Patreon prize monthly sponsors, Matt Cameras, Permanent Paintings, and In the Clutch shirts. One of you lucky Patreon winners is going to win both of those prizes. Hashtag chance in the chat if you want to win a Frank Chance t-shirt, a postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. Let's get started with the show. I just want to start really quick. I have a commercial to play. Yeah. Michael. Oh no. Look. Oh no.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
Look what we did. We're wearing the same shirt.
I'm glad we're nowhere near each other.
Yeah. God, we look like such
It would be
nerds.
so embarrassing.
We look like we went to Great America together and didn't want to get lost. You know, you ever see those families? They're like, let's all wear purple shirts and go on the rides. And you're like, really? You just don't know what each other look like? Yeah, that's got to be the purple shirt. Easier to find, I guess. So I do want to play a quick kind of commercial for Ranter Fest because Ranter Fest is in a month. I made a little video, kind of explains everything, and I'm also going to drop a link to a couple links in the chat of things I'm going to talk about. So just check this out. Hey, Cubs fans, Danny Rocket here, letting you know about an incredible 3-day party we are going to be throwing to celebrate our 1000th episode on the weekend of May 31st through June 2nd. And we're going to raise money for a great cause called the Lost Boys. On Friday, May 31st, it's a Cubs post-game comedy show at Output Lounge on Clark with comedians Joe Kilgallen, Eric Wheelo, Billy DeVore, Chris Weir, Ken Schultz, and music from the Bleacher Bum Band. Once again, that's right after the game. On Saturday, June 1st, we're going to go pre-game with our main event at Almost Home, which is also on Clark Street, just a little bit north of Output Lounge. And we're going to have all the Cubs blogs and podcasts and personalities there to hang out with a big party. We're going to have games, trivia, raffle, contests, and awesome prizes that will be donated by our sponsors, Colexor, Ballhawk, Dave's Jewelry, and also Club 400 is raffling tickets to the 1984 Cubs reunion at the end of June. It's going to be awesome. Sunday, we're going to eat donuts and play some softball before the game and try not to get hurt. Ranter Fest tickets are available a la carte or as an incredible weekend package at a discount at sunranto.com/ranterfest. All proceeds will go to support the Lost Boys, which is a youth empowerment baseball program in the South Shore neighborhood of Chicago. So come out May 31st through June 2nd to any or all of our incredible all ages events at Ranterfest. We will see you there. sunranto.com/Ranterfest. Go Cubs. Spook Hog.
So, Danny, I watched you today as you were recording that, right?
Oh, you did?
You recorded that today. So I was in here and I was putting things into the brand and stuff. And the only reason I bring this up
is because you watched me fuck it up 3 times.
No, because I had music playing here in my office. And I happened to look down and I could see you in that little box and you're talking. But it looked like you were lip singing the words of the song that I was listening to. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was checking my stuff. I'm like, can he hear what I'm playing? That weird.
Happened to me one time when I was looking at a Beatles poster and an alarm clock went off. Oh, and the thing I'm leaving on out is that I was on LSD.
I was just going to say.
And I was like, oh, my God, this poster is talking to me. And it was just the staticky radio of this guy's alarm clock. Oh, God damn it. So anyway, Ranterfest, the only thing I want to add to what I said in that video is that we are selling a Ranter hat. And all proceeds of it go to Ranterfest. So I dropped a link for this into the chat along with a Cubs Insider article that I wrote with all of the details and links you'll need, and plus the link to the actual event itself, which is sunranto.com/Ranterfest. And just want to give you a couple of tidbits here. I heard from today. Corey Finneran from Ivy Envy will be there.
Oh,
so, yeah. So I'm really excited about that.
We're pulling Corey out from the closet. We're dusting the mothballs off of him.
We're also getting Matt Cozy from Lockdown Cubs. He said he's coming by. And he was bragging today on Twitter. They're the #1 Cubs podcast. So the number one Cubs podcast and the 69th best Cubs podcast will come together on Ranterfest to become one.
How fun would it be if this ended up being like the replacement for Cubs social media day that they apparently have stopped doing?
I
feeling like it
is. Yeah, it's like, well, they're not doing anything. I mean, it's the same as like how the Cubs wouldn't bring back Sammy Sosa. So Stuart McVicker from Club 400, it's like, fuck him, I'm doing it. Screw him. Well, and he did.
It's the same as when you threw the what was it? The unconventional.
Oh yeah, and then all of a sudden they not only did one themselves, but they stole the freaking name.
Yep.
Oh man! Well, I'm honored.
The Ranto podcast, we're always like a year ahead on everything, including Shota Imanaga with IFG up there. Called it right from the beginning. Said he was going to be great, and my goodness, this guy he's more than advertised.
Yeah, we got 2 starts to talk about right now, I guess, which is start in Boston, which was the win? That was the win. They win 7-1 on the Friday, get off to a great start. The rest of the series didn't go great, but one game really didn't go great. And then, I mean, we don't even have to talk about that one. And then the other one was in New York. Just freaking nails. Like, I know you didn't watch a lot of him.
Isn't his ERA like below 0.8 right now?
0.78.
Yeah.
What a good boy.
Almost nice. It's almost nice. And not a lot of guys can get a nice ERA. But I mean, right now we're looking at Cy Young, MVP, and Rookie of the Year for Shota Imanaga.
Yeah, absolutely.
A triple crown.
That would be amazing because I don't know if any pitcher has ever done that. Now, obviously, we've still got, 4 or 5 months to go. But the way that he's throwing right now, it looks like it. I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, I know he was good in Japan, but he wasn't this good. So we're going to see some regression, I guess.
Don't you mean big in Japan, Danny?
This is not a Tom Waits podcast. Although I wouldn't mind having one of those. I love Tom Waits.
And I know he's got a great walk-in song with Chelsea Dagger, but how amazing would it be if he came out to Big in Japan?
I'm big in Japan.
That'd be
you know that
amazing.
song, IFG? It's a Tom Waits tune, I believe.
Okay.
From
the 90s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be pretty. He probably didn't know that song though. But IFG, I do have to ask you, like, how much. I mean, you called it like this guy's great. He's coming over here. He might even be better than who's the other guy that Dodgers? Yamamoto. You said he might even be better than him. And so far he has been. I mean, can you kind of refresh everybody's memory of like?
Yeah, I mean, Yamamoto is very highly decorated, right? He's won damn near everything you could possibly win. And Shota kind of hasn't had that same kind of opportunity. He was, on a Japan series, a Nippon series winning team. He won big games in big situations. He's suffered a little bit from shoulder injuries here and there that have kind of kept him from, getting those big numbers. But like last year, when we had a top 10 pitcher in the world, Trevor Bauer, on his team, he was better than Trevor Bauer. So he led all of NPB in strikeouts last year, which, was an NPB that also had Yoshinobu Yamamoto in there. So, he's really good at what he does. He is known for loud outs, but generally keeping it in the ballpark, which is
all kind of outs.
Well, in what you're saying with the lead in strikeouts, I feel like, and maybe I'm off base here, but I feel like Japanese baseball is less prone to the strikeout. Like the way that, Americans just swing out of their shoes constantly, Japanese baseball is more of a contact sport. So leading in strikeouts in that league is, you may say that, not you, but people may say that they're not as high a level, but what they do to beat them at what they do, that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a much higher contact sport. You're going to have people who are going to throw, they're going to lay bunt just to annoy you. Like sacrifice bunts are a huge thing, annoyingly so. And also considering it's kind of a dead ball league. Like the ball has been dead for a while. And
Madrigal would clean up out there.
Oh my God, he would be so good.
Yeah, he just bunt all day, little swinging butts all day long.
That's it. They would love him. He'd be amazing.
His little legs running to first.
But yeah, Shota's good. He's got a really big following. Fans love him, and obviously, like, he's a delight. So I'm really glad that he's on our team. They should pay him more. But I'm like with everybody, I'm like, hey man, he's good. Whatever his salary is, double it.
I would have been at it to start, but instead I was here in Maine, which is just gorgeous. Like you can see, if I'm to the podcast listeners, it's just this gorgeous blue sky and absolutely pristine Maine waters. I was just a few miles away from the Poland Spring. Like where the water comes from, like Poland spring water.
For Poland spring water. Okay, I was like, what are you talking about? Poland spring.
But I was in Maine with our friend Lyle because he lives there now. He has a restaurant in Portland, Maine. And then on Sunday, we went down. So I missed the Imanaga start. I missed the 17-0 Ben Brown start that we lost.
God. I am so glad that day. I was like, you know what? I had just been to like a whole bunch of games at T-Mobile Park, and like it was a long week at work. And I was like, you know what? As an act of self-care, I'm not watching the Cubs today. And then
it's your fault.
Well, no, it was a good choice. That's what it was. I was like, I am exhausted. I cannot do this today. And then like, I find out later that like Matt Mervis gave up 6 runs. I'm like, who died to make this happen?
Yeah. When Matt Mervis he'd be the last one I'd put out there, I think,
Matt Mervis was a two-way player in, I think when he started college, and then he shifted to just
that's right
Right, but didn't he like literally go to the team that drafted him, or like to somebody? I don't know. He went to someone and he was like, "Actually, I never want to pitch again."
Yeah. He told the Cubs that. I'm pretty sure when he went to the Cubs, he said, because I think they asked him, because he did have that little bit in college when he would pitch, and he was like, "No, I don't pitch anymore. We don't do that." But I mean, it does make sense that, like, he's not really pitching. They weren't really asking him to pitch. They're just like, somebody has to be able to find the strike zone out there, and we don't let you play the field anyway, so why don't you go do it?
Well, that was the problem with Mervis. He was too much in the zone because he gave up way too many runs, and he really let the game get away from us at that point.
It's like pitching to your little cousin, you know? You're like, all right, get him somewhere in the general vicinity of their body, and then you're doing that to major league hitters.
Then he couldn't even do it because Wisdom had to come in. They had to take him out of there.
I know.
Really good. Hold on, we had Patrick Wisdom was pitching.
Yeah, he pitched too.
He had to relieve Matt Mervis.
He had to relieve him. That's how bad that game was.
Oh my God. Talk about terrible.
That game was actually on Lyle's birthday. And if you don't know, if you're new to the Sun Ranto show, Lyle was one of the original hosts of the Sun Ranto show when we started it back in 2013. It was just me and him. And he's originally from Boston. He's a big Red Sox fan, but lived in Chicago for a long time, was a restaurateur. And him and I lived together back in Brooklyn when we were 20 years old. So I wanted 30 years later to go see him on his 50th birthday. We're both turning 50 with pretty much within 2 weeks of each other. That's how close in age we are. And so I have to just also thank Michael Cotton for this experience. Here we are in front of Fenway Park. There's Lyle, his brother Pat behind us. When I met Pat, he was 2 years old. Look at that kid. He's in his 30s now. Then we have, here's me and Lyle in our incredible 10th row seats at Fenway Park for Sunday night ESPN baseball.
You were just off camera. I swear, I was looking for you. You're just off camera.
Apparently,
just wouldn't quite get there.
Somebody sent me a shot where we were in it, but I guess it wasn't most of the game. But and then we were so close that me and Miguel Esparza, who sat with us, actually were right behind Marlins man. So we got a picture with that idiot. He really is. You know, he's so weird. All those old rich guys who just sit there in coats, like it's so. There's M&M's guy. There's pig hat, green shirt guy. There's front row. Amy's the only good one for the Brewers.
Well, and here's the thing with that whole Marlins thing. They they wouldn't let him get new season tickets a number of years ago.
They took his seats away.
And if I am understanding this, he hasn't even been to a Marlins game in like 5 years, and yet he keeps showing up wearing his orange Marlins stuff from when he was allowed to be a fan.
Well, you'll never. I mean, you can't switch now.
I mean, I think if the Cubs singled me out and just said, "No, you can't come and enjoy the game, even though you're on TV and you're one of our like biggest ambassadors, no matter what, no matter where you go, we're not going to let you sit here." I think I might just stop going to baseball altogether.
Yeah, you'd be like, all right, that ship has sailed. IFG, is there a Seattle Mariners first row person? Feels like more and more teams have them. Like, do you know of one? Or
I mean, the Cubs have a cat guy.
Our weirdos hang out in like the no-fly zone. That's out in center field where.
That's a different kind of weirdo.
Like that's like our bleacher bums, I guess, would be like our no-fly zone.
Yeah,
it used to be the King's Court, like the T-Mobile Park or whatever park the Mariners are playing in tends to have like this is our favorite player zone, right? Like so, I'm trying to push for like we had a push for the Cal zone for a while for Cal Raleigh. And yeah, so
I mean, if they aren't serving calzones,
was up there. We had the no-fly zone with Julio. My thing right now. I'm trying to get like people in the ballpark. We're gonna whisper network this thing. I want the Woo girls for Brian Woo. I just want a bunch of drunk chicks in one corner of the ballpark going, "Woo!" every time he gets a strikeout. I think it would be great.
Maybe you could hire the Woo girls that used to hang around Ronnie Woo Woo in the 80s. Like,
see, I was just gonna say, you could easily get Ronnie Woo Woo if you paid for it. He'll come out to Seattle and he will show you all how to woo for 3.5 straight hours without passing out and dying.
Can I tell you how much I'm not going to invite Ronnie Woo Woo to hang out in my little corner of the ballpark full of drunk ladies?
But I will say this: he will most likely be at Ranter Fest.
Yes.
I'm hoping he plays celebrity softball with us too.
Oh,
that'd be fun.
He's 82 years old.
That's okay, he'd probably
Good.
be better than
I
me.
need somebody on the team that I'm not on who is my equal in athletic ability.
So I've been trying.
Maybe we dress him up like CB Buckner and let him.
You go. We do need an old ass
give him a blindfold and send him out there.
So I gotta say, thank you to Michael Cotton, who actually paid our way into the game to have such incredible seats to watch the Red Sox walk it off in front of our face.
To watch Danny's face as tears roll down.
But look at these seats. Just incredible. You could see everything, could really see the movement of the pitches. I believe that was the game that Jordan Wicks started.
Yes.
No,
it was
Wisniewski.
Wisniewski and Houck, right?
Yeah, it was Wisniewski and Houck. And Houck had just recently pitched like a Maddox, basically. And so this is a good young pitcher. And boy, to see like the Cubs getting fooled by that late ending movement, like this is something you can't see from the bleachers. That is for freaking sure. I was right there. You could see the seams moving on the ball. It was incredible. And same with Wisniewski, when he settled in, I got to see it settle in. I'm like, oh, now that pitch is locking in. Now it's landing where he's trying to get to it. And you could tell sitting there. So I guess that's why the rich weirdos sit there. They're like, I can see every pitch.
And they're on their phone.
Yeah. Marvin's been the whole time just, is anybody saying anything about me? It's really what his thing is. So anyway, I got to thank Michael because you funded the whole thing for our birthday. You said 100 trips around the sun for each, added up for each one of you. And he sent his money. And Miguel Esparza's birthday is on May 7th, which is Tuesday. So say happy birthday to him. So we took him as well. And then Pat was a tag along because he's Lyle's brother. And you really need 4 tickets and not.
Well, Lyle actually said his birthday had been just like a week or two before that. So it was a bunch of birthday boys out there. No, I was happy to do it. It was fun to see some of those pictures. And honestly, I mean, you're only 50 once. I mean, and you're lucky to be 50, honestly, both of you. So you deserve to go and sit in those good seats.
Well, if we make it to 54, we will both be double what we thought we were going to be because we all were hoping and trying to join that 27. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We did everything that those people did to get there and then some. And we still lived somehow. And we did it for 25 more years.
In the summer of 73, and that's when all those people were dying off. So
yeah, exactly. Maybe their soul.
See, now you're going to be like the 72 club.
Oh God, yeah. Just every freaking 27 years, you just gotta thank that you didn't die at 27. So I think the main problem with the Red Sox series, and this was according to Lyle, who's seen a lot.
Oh,
no,
losing you, Danny.
Said they all try to hit the. I know. Am I back? I think I might be back though.
You are now back.
I am back. All right, cool.
Okay, you're back.
That basically every single away team that doesn't play at Fenway on a regular basis goes there and tries to hit a ball over the green monster or at least hit it. And that is what Christopher Morel told Miguel Esparza the day before I sat with Miguel. He said, when I was a kid, I would always play at Fenway Park on MLB The Show so I could try to hit balls over the green monster. And so that's what he did the entire game. And then he didn't do it until he actually went to play in New York. And
the
blue monster.
And the only time Christopher Morel.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say the only time he had almost a hit, he went opposite field. The one time he went opposite field, I thought it was going to be a hit, and the right fielder made like a good play on the ball, and it just held up too long. But yeah, he was going for that monster, and it was not working.
Not just him, even Bush was going oppo to try to get it over.
Yeah, because everybody is trying to do something. And if there is one thing that I will preach from now until forever, you cannot think and hit at the same time. So if you are thinking about trying to hit the ball over the wall, it's never going to happen because you can't think and hit at the same time. I screamed that at the TV at Kyle Schwarber so many times. Like, stop thinking and hit it.
Just hit, big baby. No, that's what it is. You have to get out of your own head. It happens too quickly. That is the truth with a lot of things that happen quickly. Like, I've been back working on this Chopin piece. The Chopin Nocturne, which is, pretty famous classical piece that it's all over TikTok videos right now.
Chopin, right.
So I've been working on this piece. It's difficult. It's hard to play Chopin. And there's some passages in it that are impossible to play. And if I'm thinking about playing it, there's absolutely no way I can play it. Can't be like C sharp, B flat, and then go down and think about all the notes. I just have to like practice how it goes, practice the notes very slowly, and then speed it up, and then stop thinking, and then just let your fingers do the thing and play the notes that you hear in your head. And that is the same as hitting. Is you have to just relax and be like, when the ball's there, I do this.
Yeah, let the brain take over.
Just let the brain do it. And if you're thinking like too much, you can expect off speed fastball. I mean, you see him do that all the time. Like, think it's going to be a fastball and it's not, and they end up in the dirt. But
oh yeah.
You're right, IFG.
The whole thing that people are talking about, like whenever you're watching every game, he's sitting fastball. Like, they're literally just like, if they see something that looks like a fastball, they're swinging. Otherwise, they don't. And that's why you see the changeup killing people.
But that's why, and that's why, like the sweeper and things like that too, because you can throw it and make it look like it's a fastball until it falls off the damn table or goes sideways on you. That's the biggest thing with pitching right now is that they're able to tunnel their pitches. They're able to control their release point so that they're throwing a sweeper, a slider, or a forkball or something like that from the same place that their fastball is coming from. And you can't just sit something because the ball could go any direction.
Anything, yeah.
You just kind of got to swing and pray.
That's the greatest stuff about pitching ninjas, the overlays. That is so cool.
Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in any sport.
Well, and I did see today, I did not look this up, so this is just like hearsay, but that averages are down again. Like, the run scoring's down, it's all down. Pitching just keeps getting better and better, and regardless of what they do, they can't make it better for them.
Yeah, I saw some stats the other day that the teams that have more than 40 home runs last year, there was something like 13, and this year there's 8.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing is pitchers can get better at pitching by practicing on their own, and hitters need to face good hitting to get better.
Good pitching, yeah.
Or hitters, you need a good pitcher to make a good hitter.
Yeah.
And they're getting fancier and fancier and fancier pitching machines, and now they have pitching machines that can actually change the box where the thing is coming from. But if you're in a batting cage, you can see the box moving. It's not happening at the speed of light some of these pitchers can throw. And some of the guys they're throwing so fast that scientifically, just for the signals to get from your eyes to your brain to your hands, you have to decide whether or not to swing before the ball actually leaves their hand.
Yeah, you got to be ready. I used to preach that to my kids, and obviously Little League is a bazillion times different. But in order to get them to hit, I would tell them, you should be planning to swing every at bat. Your decision should be to not swing rather than your decision being to swing. Because
that's
if you're
what
making
Rachel Folden preaches. That's what Rachel Folden. Remember, we had her on the show during the pandemic, or was that on the rant? I think with Evan Altman.
I think that was on the rant. We didn't have her on this show, but
either way, that's what she preached. She said you have to always think I'm going to swing, and it's easier to pull yourself back from swinging than to be like I'm not going to swing and now I'm going to swing. You really have to do it the other way. So not a lot of swinging in New York, pretty low scoring.
Yeah, let's get on to this New York series.
Yeah, we have to.
It was amazing.
Well, here's some swinging that we did first. First of all, these are my two best boys in the whole world. There's Johnny Onomatopoeia behind me. There's Lyle. He came down to New York with me. We drove down. If you subscribe to Cubs Pod, you heard us talking. We recorded a Cubs Pod on the way from Boston to New York, retreading our steps. So go check that out.
When Lyle said you guys were going golfing, I laughed out loud.
There we are.
And wearing my headphones out in public, just laughing. And when you see that person who is just laughing in public and you don't know why, they look insane. That was me.
Yeah. Nice. I'm glad I could provide you that experience. So, but we had a great time. And this is just a little bit of advice. If you go to a game at Citi Field, right across the way is this giant park. It's called Flushing Meadows. And if you remember from The Simpsons, when Homer had to pee really bad in New York, and he was looking and he saw there was a place called Flushing Meadows, and he imagined all these toilets. It looks like a psychedelic scene. But there's not only the U.S. Open is there, but also there's a huge 18-course 3-par pitch and putt, which they give you a pitching wedge and a putter. And for $20, you go out there, and there's a old guy that drives around on a golf court selling tall boys on a golf cart selling tall boys. And you just play, and there's, you wait for people and they wait for you, and you just go out. It's freaking fun as hell. And it's right across the street. So it's the same stop on the 7 train. Nice. So just
that sounds awesome.
It's so much fun. And so if you're ever out there looking for something else to do, it's a really fun activity to do before a Mets game. And that's where we were out. And oh man. So we go from the oldest ballpark in the major leagues to a slightly more modern, much more modern ballpark. I think it was 2007.
It opened in 9.
Okay.
It actually opened. So they built it in like 2008.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and this you take the 7 train out there, and because of the 7 train being purple, which, by the way, 7 train did not treat me well. We were stuck on this thing for an hour. We actually were late to pitch and putt, only golf 12 holes. But because of the 7 train that hit somebody at Queensboro Plaza. I know. Well,
like a human being?
Well, I mean, that's usually what they refer to as somebody. It's usually a person. I mean, always a person.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I've been on the train. I've been on a train that's hit somebody a couple of times.
Me too, a lot of times. But it just was very inconvenient for me.
Jesus Christ, guys.
It's just pay attention.
It is unfortunately a thing that happens.
Yeah, it's a thing. And 9 out of 10 times, it's a freaking suicide.
Exactly.
So I don't know why the last thing you want to do on Earth is inconvenience thousands of people on the way to the freaking Mets game. But if that's your thing, bro, good riddance. Riddance.
Not to be terribly dark, but
no,
if you're trying to pick a way to go out and you want to, give your family the plausible deniability that it was an accident.
That's that's true. So anyway, I don't even believe that they were hit by a train, because the next day, when I was on the 7 train, or 2 days later when I was on the 7 train, it apparently happened again. But it because they're like, sorry, because somebody was hit by a train. I was like, this is BS. They're just saying it was hit by a train, so you don't get all mad that there's just delays because they suck at being the MTA.
Absolutely, that totally makes sense to me, and I'm saying more power to them. Like, sorry. It was a small child. He was walking a dog, and we ran him down. Everybody chill out.
Our delays are not your fault. Or our delay, your delays are not our fault.
Well, you brought up the purple on the 7 line because of the City Connect jerseys.
The Mets are now purple. The Mets are now the Rockies. That's what we're doing, I guess.
Well, it's fun. I mean...
Okay. Wait, hold on real quick. Yay or nay on the Mets City Connects?
I wish they had more purple. I was promised purple. I am a big proponent of more purple and green in baseball because everybody is blue and red and white and like, yeah, we get it.
You know
like,
what?
I want more green and purple in baseball. So I heard the Mets were getting a purple City Connect and I was like, hell yeah, purple. And then they gave us like a purple Nike swoosh and then like a spit of dye on the sleeves. And then they're like, this is our purple uniform. And I'm like, that is a gray uniform.
You know what? For me, though, that was enough purple because I do not like purple. I hate the Rockies uniforms. I'm with you on the green. I'm all for green. But the purple, I'm not a fan of, except for the amount of purple on that was nice. It was a little bit of a
See,
highlight.
I think the Diamondbacks should bring back their purple and turquoise.
Oh, God, some of the worst ever. But here, so I'm looking at this jersey, which, by the way, was delayed because Nike and Fanatics cannot get them this uniform on time because apparently they were not aware that the baseball season starts at the very first part of April. And so they've been waiting. That's why we got to see it a few times because they just want to wear it now that they actually have it.
By the way, while we're talking about it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, like the I don't know, the NY
it's a little Yankees-y.
Exactly. I'm like, this
It's my
it
only
kind
issue.
of gives Yankees minor league team vibes, and that's why I would like it to be more purple than gray.
Well, it also
This-
looks like the New
Right?
York Giants, the NYG, which the Mets have always
Right.
paid homage with their colors. They've always played homage to the Dodgers and the Giants with their colors of being.
But if
Yeah.
the
orange.
inside, like keep the out, like that fimbriation, the white fimbriation around the NYC, totally cool. What if the inside of that was that purple?
So
Name-
this
Name
is
one
just
other
like
podcast that says fimbriation. Name one. I don't know of one.
Name one other group of people who are looking up the term fimbriation right now. Name one. None. No, so here's the
Everybody
thing. Here's
but
my
IFT.
only issue. It's just like the Wrigleyville for me. This is a truck stop ball jersey, right? This is a baseball jersey that you find at a truck stop that they can't use Mets or Yankees. So they use a generic NYC. And then they put up it's semi pinstriped like the Yankees, right? So they want that. Just like the Wrigleyville is semi Cubs-ish, you know.
It's an Alcatraz jersey.
It's
Wait,
exactly
back to
what
back.
it is.
Back to back.
This is a joke jersey that I bought at a thrift store many years ago.
That's
It says
amazing.
Alcatraz hardball on the front. It has property of Alcatraz Athletic Department on the back. Like it's a joke San Francisco baseball jersey that was probably bought at a truck stop somewhere. But yeah, same gray, same dark pinstripes. There you go.
It's exactly what it is. A truck stop baseball jersey. But it also, I thought it had hints of Nightmare Before Christmas, right? Because
Well, all
the
purple.
dark gray with a little bit of purple, that makes me think of Jack Skellington. So
okay,
they
so
could,
see, now you're making me like it more.
yeah. Well,
I mean,
okay.
I like it. It's a very attractive jersey. I just wish it was more purple.
Like with the Wrigleyville, I didn't like it at the beginning because I did think it was very truck stoppy. But the Wrigleyville has grown on me, and I think this possibly could if I saw it as much as the
It's
Wrigleyville
okay.
one.
I don't hate it or love it. I saw a couple fans that had already bought theirs and seemed to be excited to have it. So
They got it before the Mets did.
I'm
probably.
millennial. Like, the gray is good with me.
So yeah, no, I like that color. I like that dark kind of gunmetal gray. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And it just also looks kind of like a road jersey. That's my other thing. It's like, so does the Cubs Wrigleyville. It's just like I wish. And here's the last thing I'll say about the jerseys is that I wish that the Cubs wore their City Connects on the same day that the Mets wore theirs. Like it looks kind of dumb. Everybody should wear their City Connects on that day. Like why not the Cubs wear the Wrigleyville versus the Mets NYCs? Like then everybody can see, and then
Then
their
but then
fans
they have
can
to
see
pack
ours.
a whole new set of clothes, Danny. Those guys have been wearing the same uniform for 7 straight days. Every game, same uniform. They're just nasty at this point. But all right, let's get into a little bit of the games, especially this first one, because Luis Severino, speaking of nasty, Luis Severino was ridiculous. This game, right now, this is the best game of the season for me. This was an amazing game watching Severino.
Yeah, Tyone matched him. Almost pitch for
other than the first hitter.
Yeah.
He literally gave up a dong in the first
I missed
at
it.
bat.
I missed
and
it.
Then,
I went the whole game thinking the game was tied because I was getting a freaking sausage for the first hitter, for the first Mets hitter. I was getting a freaking sausage. I had no idea that ball was hit because the Mets fans didn't even cheer that much because they weren't there yet either. And then when I look up, I'm like, wait, it's 1-0. When did that happen? And I was like looking at my phone because I didn't remember a home run. I was like, oh, I was getting a freaking sausage. That was an amazing game. And then Christopher Morel finally hit it over the blue monster instead of the green monster. And it made all the difference. Madrigal, and before that even happened, Madrigal actually hit a guy in, I forget who it was running, but on the contact play, actually worked.
Well, because
they should have gone for a double play. Oh, no, should not have gone for a double play. They should have thrown home. They did not because they were like, well, the contact play always works. And
I could not believe, and look,
it worked.
Go get your entry level free listen to the Cubs pod because honestly, Danny, Mike Waller, and I are doing Cubs pods every day, talking about these things. You get some good analysis on this, and I have to say, I think I nailed it on this. That was a terrible send. It was a terrible send. The third baseman, Wendell, was up on the grass. He got that ball, but he had a brain fart.
The double play.
He had a brain fart because in that situation, if you're down or if you're only up by 1, you have to protect the run. You can't if they're up by 2, you can let that run go and not worry about it and try and get your double play and get out of the inning and then save it. But with the 1 run, you always should be going home, and he would have thrown him out forever before he got there. But instead, he went for the double play, and turning a double play from third base is actually quite a bit harder than from, say, shortstop or even from second to short to first, right? It's a hard play. It's a long throw 2 times over. And they did not get it. It was ridiculous. And I had to do that damn Cubs pod and try to explain to people why, even though it worked, it still wasn't a good play. Well, wasn't the smart play.
Ari Soglin on the Discord said, for the record, because it needs to be explicitly stated so it's in the Ranter minutes, running on contact succeeded. And I was right after a minute later being like, contact play words. And we're all thinking on the same length here. We're
no, we're not, because I was like,
the run scored.
But not because it was a good play.
It doesn't matter. The run scored.
It's on that side,
no, that is not true. That is not how this works.
Okay, moving on.
There were 2 bad decisions. There were 2 bad decisions that led to the Cubs' bad decision making it.
Yeah.
Also,
that's the point, though.
We were talking about.
The whole point is the contact play gives the opportunity for other people to fuck up.
And
we're not going to argue about this. If you want to know how I feel about it, you go and listen to the Cubs pod. I was very clear about why it wasn't good. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not going to make that argument yet again.
Well,
but I do want to bring up the Morel home run.
Yeah.
Because
this one? The one where he stood on home plate.
Yes, the one where he pimped that thing.
Yeah, he
pimped
the whole thing.
I love it.
So
he's been having a rough time of it too, and so I like that. He's having a rough time. He's like, okay, I'm breaking out. I'm gonna enjoy this moment. It might be my last home run in the major leagues.
No, he's actually been working his way out of this for a little bit. It's just not. He hasn't been real flashy with home runs yet until against the Mets, but no, so the ump show in this series was amazing. They were so bad. even when it helped the Cubs, they were bad. So Morel is up to bat. Diaz is pitching. He threw a full-on strike. And look, I hate the little K zone in the fact that when the ball just barely nicks the edge, people are talking about, well, that's a strike. It's like that fucking K zone doesn't actually exist in real life. That's just an approximation. This ball was nowhere near the line. It was so into the box. It was a strike, and the ump called it a ball. And after that, Diaz went to a slider, did not even come close to the zone twice, and then he's got 3-1 against Christopher Morel, and he's got to go into the zone with it. And Morel destroyed that ball. That was 402 feet, and it was he crushed that ball. And it's so funny because, like, all the talk later was not like about the ump. They did the 3 bad calls that impacted the game. That one wasn't one of them. And I'm just like, what are you watching?
Well,
Diaz had to throw him that ball because
there was more, and there was more than that. I mean, you know, and it happens for both teams, and especially if you look at the situation of what happened
the next game.
Well, yeah, well, no, the game after that. Well, game 2, the only thing that happened, only thing bad that happened in it was that Albert Alzolay still kind of is having trouble, and he gave up a big freaking 3-run shot. But the Cubs didn't score any runs in that game, so what are you going to freaking do? But then, so that
4 runs. Maybe they should have run on contact. Maybe they should have made.
They should have made.
Yeah, you got to make contact to run on contact.
The only funny thing that I heard that happened in this game, because our friend Ken Schultz, who's performing at Ranterfest, was at the game, and he said, and there was all this commotion, and they weren't showing what the commotion was about. But you heard there was something. I thought maybe a fan was running on the field or something like that, and apparently that's not what was happening at all. Somebody who had been eating massive amounts of dollar hot dogs all game, because it's dollar hot dog night.
Dollar dog night.
He'd been eating massive amounts of hot dogs. At some point, fans started chucking hot dogs at this guy in the 9th inning. And all the fans were going nuts. He's like, and so I found out that fans had been chucking hot dogs at this man. I'm like, why aren't they showing this on TV? Like, that has got to be the most entertaining thing to watch.
Apparently this is a thing, because I swear to God, I showed people in the Ranter chat a TikTok where this dude was talking about a dude like trying to eat as many hot dogs as he could, and like people in the stands just chucking them at him because it's $1. It's a dollar dog. You see how many he'll eat. They just, like, that's got to be a thing.
I love the idea that they're like, we can't do dollar beers. That would get crazy. Let's do dollar dogs. But then the New York fans are like, let's just buy a bunch of hot dogs and throw it at each other.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, dude, imagine how much fun you could have at $100 worth of hot dogs. You got a freaking quiver full of freaking 100 dogs.
Dude, I'd be like Johnny Appleseed out there. Like,
I mean, I've always wanted a hot dog cannon or a t-shirt cannon or something. Like, I gotta get one. We need one of those for Ranterfest.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
But it's gotta be a couple hundo.
So I was listening to the radio. Coomer had the best line. He's like, "It's dollar hot dog night tonight. Tomorrow is dollar Tums night," and it made me laugh a lot.
So, and then you had this crazy 1-0 win. That was the Imanaga, the second outing for him. And you had the most insane ending to a game we've seen in a while, which was a double play that went 9. Wait, that's right. So, 7, 8, no, 7,
6.
No, 7, 4. No, 7-5-2, because it was
7-5-2. That's right.
7-5-2 double play, and so it was basically Hap to Madrigal, who was playing third, who turned around and threw it to Amaya, who when I was watching this, I thought we had lost both times. Like I thought that he had actually scored and got his hand in because it looked like that. It looked like he beat the throw, everything.
Look,
And
I have to say,
let me finish. And then the second thing I thought is that he was blocking the plate because he's standing right on top of the plate. But apparently they changed that rule a little bit. And that is exactly what you should do is you stand on the plate or slightly behind it. And when you get the ball, then you drop a knee on the man's head. And that is, and I mean the tag and your knee if you
if you can.
You're not standing in the base path, so the runner has an open path to the ball. And if you do have to cross the base path for any reason, you have to be in possession of the ball to do so. So yes, totally legal.
Yeah, it looked great.
It totally makes sense. Amaya played it perfectly and did get the knee down right into the face. Loved it. But here's the thing. I watched that replay a bunch of times because they just kept showing it on TV. I think he was safe. I'm sorry. I think he was safe. And
you can't.
I'm a Cubs fan. I'm happy he was called out and that the review confirmed that he was out. I disagree with that. If I was the guy in the booth, I couldn't have made that call. I think he was safe.
Well, and David says the super slow-mo shot of Alonso's hand bouncing up and not hitting. Yeah, it was just above. And when he's trying to put it back down is exactly when he gets tagged on the shoulder. And I think if he had been called out, I mean, if he had been called safe, it would have stayed safe.
I think
that's
so.
How it went. And
because you have to have a good reason to overturn a call.
Yeah, and I think his hand did bounce, but I think by the time the tag hit, I think the rest of his arm is on the plate, like hitting the plate. You know what I mean? But it's so hard to tell because it's in the middle of all the dust and the dirt and all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, we're both trying to put this comment up.
But yeah,
Matt makes a good point. The call is not confirmed. That means that like the replay review, they're not like, we have really good evidence that the call is exactly right, but you don't have evidence to overturn it, so it has to stand.
And here's the other thing. They talked about this a little bit on the broadcast, and I was listening to the Mets broadcast on this one, which, by the way, so good. They're so good.
Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez, and this is not Howie Rose, is it?
I'll watch Mets games that the Cubs aren't playing in just because they're so much better. But if he slides feet first, he's probably safe. He's probably safe in that situation.
But you're taught almost always to slide head first into home because, I don't know, faster or something. I've never really understood.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the advanced stats would tell us about that. There's probably a reason. But I think if he slides feet first, I think he's safe.
Yeah. Well, it was a weird series, and then today went clown ball. And it didn't go great. And PCA, I mean, what a weird PCA hit a double and somehow was not out when he used his helmet to touch the base in his hand.
This was the most insane thing I have ever seen. Look, everybody knows.
This is interesting.
That's an out. Everyone knows that, except for apparently the umps and the coaches and all the players on the fucking field. Nobody thought twice about it. You can't do that.
Well, this is interesting though, because the uniform is considered part of the player's body, and that is why there is a rule explicitly disallowing you from throwing your helmet up in the air to interfere with a ball in play. Maybe that is legal. I don't know. I've never thought about it before.
Well, then why wouldn't you just always take your helmet off and try to sleep?
Right. No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is this like an 8 million baseball IQ kind of play?
No, it's not. And in fact, so
it was
Mets broadcast.
I've never looked at it.
Yeah,
the Mets broadcast actually looked into it, not the Cubs broadcast, of course.
Right.
The Mets broadcast looked into it, and they found out, no, this is illegal. He should have been out according to the rule.
Well, we don't have robot umpires yet, so.
Right. But it's amazing. So here's the thing that amazes me. I could have totally been wrong about the rule, but that is a thing that makes me stop the game and say, we need to talk about this, guys. Right? If I'm the Mets manager, I'm like, hold up. Everybody stop. I don't give a fuck what the rule is, but I want to know what the rule
That's
is.
weird.
Like,
Yeah.
that is weird.
And it was
We've never seen that before.
We need to rules lawyer this. Get the Bible out.
Well, it's funny. There's a lot of inaccuracies going on here. Everett Tosher writes in here, says Zaidman thought there were only 2 outs. And this is in the, I think the game 3, I guess. This is the 1-0 win. He said Zaidman thought there were only 2 outs. He said it when the play happened, and after the review, Coomer said, "No, that's the ball game." Double play. And then it reminds me of this TFC that I saw. And it's and this is because Pat Hughes has been out, and this is why we've been getting Zaidman. And it's from Bullpen Insider Jeff. He says Pat is dealing with a family matter, but is otherwise fine. We'll be back soon. And then he goes on to say, "Now this is per Zaidman, so it could be completely inaccurate."
Okay, so this is interesting. I'm looking it up right now, and on Yahoo Sports, it says SNY reporter Steve Gelbs said the same on the Mets broadcast that. There isn't a rule on the book that signifies whether or not this play is a violation that should have resulted in Pete Crow Armstrong being out. He checked in with MLB. MLB says Crow Armstrong should have been ruled out, even though there isn't a precise rule to address the play. He says, quote, "I checked in with Major League Baseball. They said that even though that a specific rule is not written down anywhere, he should have been out. And if the play was reviewed, he would have been out. You cannot use equipment like that to gain an advantage. Otherwise, runners could use their helmets to extend their reach going into bags." Here's my question. Is it illegal if there isn't a rule saying that it is? How can you just be like, "Oh no, man, you totally can't do that"? But like, there isn't a rule.
No,
but it is legal. Like, if you want it to be illegal, write it freaking down. That we do it for everything else. We have 18 different ways you can make a balk happen.
And that would be a great argument to have on the field. They should have had.
They just moved it along though because it was getaway day. They're
now we don't actually have a rule that says that that's wrong. So
right, my thing is, if he's using a piece of equipment to touch the bag, then there's something, you know what I mean? Like there's something just in the spirit of the game that's wrong.
Here's the thing. If he were standing at home plate, receiving a pitch, and the ball hit his helmet, he's got a hit by pitch and he takes his first base. That helmet is a part of him.
Remember the glove?
He touches that bag with a
glove. No. Hold up. We are not going to equate what he did with his helmet touching the bag to getting hit in the head with a ball.
What I'm saying is, at what point is that a piece of equipment in the player's possession not part of the player?
Yeah, like
let me tell you.
The batting gloves. Remember the tagging of the batting gloves, and that was out. That happened.
In his pocket.
Why are you out
by him? But still,
you can tag a batting glove and you're out. Because that's what happens.
Then this is the first thing I think of. Every time somebody loses their fucking helmet, they don't lose it. They throw it off on purpose.
Tag the helmet.
You tag the fucking helmet. And you're out. The helmet never made it. No, look, if you're going to start this game where one piece is good and it's not, no, fuck that. But you can't reach out with a different piece of equipment and touch the base.
No
you can't do that.
Saying you can't.
Yeah, bring a bat with you and just use the bat.
Well, no, because there is a rule governing what you can do with a bat after you are done at the plate.
You got to
have to put the bat down, right?
I get it. I get it, but there is a.
Well, how about
there's an
ball up the ass. Does that count as an out?
There is an understanding here about what is normal gameplay and what is not. And if it gets called into play, you should write a rule, and there will be, I'm sure, very shortly. But
then write it. I agree that Pete Armstrong should not have been out on this play because there was no rule explicitly saying he would be, and because he was not called out on the field I mean, maybe if the umpire called him out, then he would have nothing to stand on. He's like, no, you can't do that. And then they would have to work that out. But maybe Craig Counsell argues that. He's like, no, that it's part of the uniform. And now they have to make an explicit rule. Either way,
and honestly,
still lost.
Right. Honestly, that should have happened.
1,000% behind this. Like as a baseball rules lawyer, I love that this photo exists. This makes me happy in my heart because I enjoy the fact that somebody has found a gap in the rules and has exploited it for the cause of good and justice.
I mean,
because I like good and justice is the Cubs uniform versus the Mets uniform.
Exactly.
Well, and
if the other team did this, I would be like, absolutely not. You
no, fuck that guy. Throw him out of the game. Ban him for life.
Pete Crow Armstrong was so thankful to the umpires for this call that on the very next play he decided to smash.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, he should have hit him harder.
Yeah. Did you see that he was like running? He was rounding the base and just
get out of the way, Blue.
Yeah, get out of the way, Blue.
Yeah, what? Sometimes, man, you see the umps. The umps were a problem through this whole series.
Yeah. Well, do you know what else was a problem? This guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Another guy dressed like Bartman.
I love the Cubby Bellinger. Arrest this guy at NYPD.
So, what a weird series.
It really was. And you know what else was weird? They played a game today. I was so like 3-game series. It's done. I wasn't even clocking this game until like the 3rd inning. I'm like, holy shit, the Cubs are playing today.
Yeah. Well, see, because we have a pitch clock now, like every single game happens while I'm at work because I live on the West Coast. So we're not allowed to actually watch baseball in real time. Yeah. So I was just kind of catching the updates as they were coming in on my phone. And I was like, all right, we're winning. All right, we're winning more. All right, we're winning more. And then the end of the game happened. And I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah. And it just kind of didn't. It was funny because in all the games, we won the games we probably should have lost and lost the games that we had a chance to win, except for that, one kind of boring one when the guy got hot dogs thrown at him.
Yeah. And Christopher Morel hit another dong in this game today.
We do love to see that.
He's kind of back on track. He's the better third baseman. I don't understand why Madrigal is on this team anymore. Just doesn't make any sense.
To perform amazing relays for Noodle Arm Hap, who, I mean, most other left fielders would throw on a fly ball to home plate from mid right down the line, but not Hap. We're going to use 2 mediocre fielders to get that ball hold and get that out, even though the guy's really safe.
I know. I thought Hap fixed his arm last year. Remember, like he threw a couple of guys out?
Yeah, he did.
At home plate last year, and I thought, oh, Hap figured it out. He knows how to throw the ball hard now. And
no.
I will remind everybody that left field Gold Glove is a participation trophy.
Yeah. Oh, if Morel had been at third and he turned and Mike Waller and I went back and forth on the Discord about this a little bit. I think Morel can make that play.
Sure. I mean,
Waller thinks maybe it was there was some footwork and stuff maybe he wouldn't have handled. But honestly, when he threw that ball, there wouldn't have been a question because they probably would have ended up putting him in a pickle because Morel throws the ball 1,000,000 miles per hour.
It was a good play. I shouldn't
talk about pickles later.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about pickles. Yeah, so we actually are like maybe a half hour overdue for a break.
Well, because we keep trying to get into these games as we should. Hold on, we can't finish without talking about Madrigal getting his ass thrown out. First off, Morel got his ass thrown out at home plate by Marte. And then fucking Madrigal gets his ass thrown out at home plate by Marte. What the fuck are these guys? Like, I get it. Starling Marte, great arm. What is going on?
Like, got thrown out.
Unfortunately, they don't give us a good enough view.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah,
I wish.
I think it's that simple.
I wish I could see where they were at third when they're making the play. You know what I mean? Because they didn't really show that angle. Because I want to know like how bad a send it was, because I'm with you guys. It makes sense. You run on that play, but they both got thrown out, and they didn't get thrown out by a little bit. It wasn't bang, bang. Even the Madrigal play, when he had to go back and try and touch it, he was already out.
Yeah, he would have been out. Yeah,
yeah, he was already out before he tried.
Ran through it and didn't slide. That was a little weird too. He just kept running. Yeah,
that was another one that was weird. And I saw a lot of things on social media about Coughlin diving over and making the play. I don't want him doing that. Like Coughlin can do that because Coughlin's.
I don't know. Anybody who wants to try that, I am all for seeing them try.
But yeah, it did seem very weak, as if he sort of gave himself up there at the end.
It did. So yeah, we're long overdue. So who's that?
Oh geez,
Cubby.
Who's that Cubby?
Yeah, who is that Cubby?
Who is this? We need your comments in the chat. I got it.
Where is he at?
There he is.
There he is.
I think this one's easy too.
This is.
I know who it is. Okay, we're good.
There's a very specific reason I chose this particular picture.
Yeah, it looks really, really familiar. This particular
and for the podcast listeners, it is a picture silhouette. And after the break, or if you're a Patreon listener, after the next like 3 seconds, we will tell you who this is.
Yeah. So who's that coming?
Interesting. For me, a big part of figuring these things out is looking at the background, and I think it's interesting that the 353 in the corner is white.
Oh, and the door is red.
The door's red. Yeah. That is part of it. It's a pretty good clue. So here's a commercial for Patreon. Please join us. Patreon.com/sunranto is how we keep the lights on. We'll be right back. All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Sun Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Sun Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Sun Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a super ranter today.
Do you ever find yourself longing for long walks and talks about catcher metrics? How about a coffee or a run differential? Maybe a candlelit dinner dissecting what exactly is the curious case of Miles Mastrobuoni? If you have, I have just the place for you, the Cubs PS Plus podcast. Come join us. Cubs PS Plus, a Northside numbers game, can be found wherever it is you get your podcasts, and on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Cubs PS Plus, a spin on the baseball metric OPS Plus. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go.
Okay, we are back with a little Who's That Cubby? We have a few correct answers in the chat here.
We do. A bunch of people did get this. I think I'm seeing Corey Furlong is the first. And he said, it is Fergie. It looks like the statue. Yes, it does. This is the picture that inspired the statue. And I want to point out Everett Tosher. We need to change the name of this segment. Who's wait?
Who the
Cubby? Who the fuck's that Cubby? That's what it is.
Fuck's that Cubby? Who the
This
fuck?
is what I normally say when I'm trying to figure out the Cubsler, though.
who the fuck's that Cubby?
What is that Cubby?
But no, isn't that a great picture though? Put that picture back up. That's
I like that uniform too. They don't really wear those as throwbacks too much either. With that kind of old. It's
those beautiful stirrups. More people should wear stirrups.
Yeah,
So hashtag Chance in the chat if you would like to win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. And of course, all prizes on the Son Ranto show that go to Patreon members are brought to you by In the Clutch shirts, 10% off with code SunRanto, and permanent paintings on Etsy, where the incredible art of Matt Kammerer lives. He is also a Patreon prize sponsor, and every month we pick a winner that not only gets a In the Clutch t-shirt sent to you, but also this incredible Ron Santo on a map.
And let me put a quick tag on, because we just ran the commercials, and if you're a Patreon supporter, you didn't hear it. But we did a Patreon commercial where we're asking you to give us money, and then Mike Waller had his show. Look, Danny has gone out and he's put a special thing in there where you can try out what it feels like to be a Patreon supporter for free. It
trial membership
costs you no money. You just give some rich corporation all of your info so that they know everything about you. And then you can listen to the things that we do beyond this. And that's the Cubs Pod. We do this every day. And Mike Waller is a part of that. I do it one day. Waller does it one day. Danny does it one day.
Bunch with Sarah, and you've got Mike's podcast, and we're adding people to that.
But I was just saying, the Cubs Pod itself is worth so much more than free, and it's worth more than $1. It's worth more than $5. Like,
you're right. Let's up the price.
The three of us that we're putting in there. I honestly, when I because I listen every day. That I'm not on it. I don't listen to myself because I know what I said, but I listen to you guys. I get more out of that listening to you guys than I do any other Cubs pod that I listen to. So, I'm just saying, we don't get into the nitty gritty on this show, but if you pay for this show, you get to hear that nitty gritty, and it's really good.
Yeah, it is. I enjoy doing that show too. So let me put up some kind of stats that we have for these are the splits right now for the season thus far, not including today's game, right? Because are we 19 and 13 right now?
Yeah.
So 19 and 13, pretty damn good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we got a run differential, looks like 14 or something like that. Played really well at home. 10 and 3 at home, 9 and 10 on the road, so a little bit under.
But you know what? Look, you can't be 500 on an odd number, right? And that's what you need. If you're 70% at home and you're 500 on the road, you're going to win a division.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. So, and then 17 and 10 April, if you want to get specific with the month, we're 1 and 3 at extra inning games right now. Thank you, Michael Cotton, for not supporting. I'm
sorry. We have 4 ties.
No,
is what happened.
If you had supported the team, maybe that one fan that was out there hoping for a victory, maybe we would have pulled some of those out. We are 5 and 5 in one-run games, which is unfortunately a drastic improvement from last year. Even though, actually, we're 5 and 6 now, so we are under 500 there. Blowouts 6 and 3. Interleague, we actually have taken the series so far 7 and 5 in interleague, and then you see all the teams we played. But I'll put them up in this way. Here is the schedule in April. You remember we opened with the Rangers. We had the Rockies, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Mariners, the Diamondbacks, the Marlins, the Astros, the Red Sox, and then the Mets. Schedule.
And we have done a great job, honestly. We in my opinion, we tied the Rangers, but I know that looks like a loss in reality. But then we won. We have won most of these series. Like we've only
really good teams
once or twice, but we have won what are we in series, Danny? Are we like 6-2, 6-3?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look, we ate meatloaf against the Dodgers, meatloaf against the Mariners, did meatloaf against the Diamondbacks, did God's work against the Astros.
Yeah, that was a really good series.
And like, it has just been absolutely fun.
The only disappointing series was, I think, the split against the Marlins when Adbert blew that save on the doubleheader day. That kind of stung, And here's the thing:
every save that Adbert's lost, which has been way too many, is terrible. Like, it's so frustrating because what's our record if Adbert finishes half of those games?
He blew 4 saves. So you'd have 2 more wins if he only blew half the saves. Blake Beard says most wins in April ever in the entire history of the Cubs. Now, when you hear these stats, you got to remember the Cubs freaking sucked for a long ass time, and it's just like not
okay. Hold on.
And they used to not play in April until like the 15th. So these are really loaded stats.
Thank you.
Look,
that's what I was about to say. I was like, are we talking April? Are we adding in March? Are we talking about the fact that they used to start on the 7th? Like, there's a difference.
It doesn't matter. It still was a good April.
It doesn't matter because it's fun to say, right?
No, it is absolutely a good April, but
ever. And I think it's fun to like admit that it is, May 2nd and we are having fun watching this team. And I think it's important to mention, that we spent freaking $0 on the bullpen this offseason. I mean, we got a Hector Neris, but other than that, we are objectively not great at bullpen. And me saying that is a little bit more meaningful because I fully believe that 30 out of 30 baseball fan groups, like baseball fandoms, will say that their bullpen needs improvement. Everybody thinks their bullpen sucks.
Yeah, what I can be very specific about the bullpen is that they're 21st in ERA,
right?
Ninth most homers given up, so they're in the bottom third in that category. They've walked the third most batters in the major leagues, but they do also have the 5th most strikeouts, which is nice.
And considering that our entire outfield has been dead for half the month.
Yeah, I'll put that up. Let me put up the injuries so you can peruse that as you.
Yeah,
go ahead. Keep going, IFG.
Injuries: Justin Steele, Kyle Hendricks, Seiya Suzuki, Jordan Wicks, Cody Bellinger, Drew Smiley, Julian Merriweather. Ian Happ was broken for a while.
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger jumped into a brick wall and broke his damn ribs.
Caleb Killian.
We are legitimately having fun.
Yeah, and
you can't win a World Series in April, but if you don't feel like you've lost it yet. I would rather be where we're at right now than the Astros fans are.
Oh, absolutely. And I just wanted to add one more injury that nobody's talking about is poor Michael Busch has no feeling in either one of his hands, apparently.
They are bricks. That's because he has brick hands. Hands made of brick. You can't feel a thing.
He just doesn't know when the ball is hitting his hand. He can't see hops. He's having a struggle over there.
Blake Beard over here is like, if Richard Lovelady is in your bullpen, it's definitely not good. Let me tell you what that was good for. That was good for the DH Gate seller that I just bought my jersey from.
Well, and I'll say this much too, because of all those injuries you just rattled off, that was pretty much our entire starting pitching staff, and Tyone just got back. Yep. So you got your ace down, you've got every slugger on the team down. And what it speaks to is that when they decided to not go get more pitching depth, and they're like, no, we've got Assad, and if Assad doesn't work out, then we got Ben Brown. If Ben Brown doesn't work out,
yeah,
but but they trusted that depth. Yep. And they decided to go with it, and it's been working out so far. And Ben Brown, even his the game we lost 17-0, he didn't He only gave up 3 of those runs. So, like, it wasn't that bad. And imagine, oh, you think our bullpen's bad? Well, what if our starters come back and are good? Then the guys that we had are now in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And now the bullpen improves.
Well, and Mike Waller on PS Plus talked about Assad this week because everyone should be talking about Assad. He's a great pitcher.
He's been delightful.
Yeah. You need a new jersey besides the Imanaga.
I loved him last year, but then I realized that was just like some middle school puppy love bullshit because I am in lust with him this year. He's wonderful. Like I look forward to every Assad start. Like,
I love a pitcher that wears glasses, first of all, just like as a lifelong Four Eyes. Like, I just appreciate that. But he's been fun.
Yeah. Oh, he's been fun, and I like the way that he approaches the game and how he works the game. When you watch Assad pitch a game, for me at least, there's some sort of a comfort there, right? Like the way that he's doing things, even when people do start to get some hits or he walks somebody, the way he's handling the game. Look, and
he's in control.
This is the exact definition of an ass stat. There's no way to judge this through empirical terms. Assad's just fun to watch, and I feel like he's comfortable watching him.
He feels like he's in control of the game. He doesn't have a lot of great stuff to throw at it. He's not pumping 100, 200 miles an hour like some of these dudes do. So he's got to pitch, and he's got to pitch well. He's got to pitch smartly, and that's what he does. And in order to be that pitcher, he just has to exude a lot of confidence. And we saw that happen when he pitched in the World Baseball Classic. And in the same way that Imanaga might not have been the biggest, shiniest toy coming out of Japan this offseason, he had pitched in the biggest games without the best stuff of everybody and still got the freaking job done. And that's what Assad is. And Imanaga is, similar. Here's one disconcerting stat, though, and maybe why the bullpen's messing up. Our starters might have the 8th best ERA, but they have the 8th fewest innings pitched, and that's been difficult. So you're putting a lot more pressure on that bullpen. So you can blame them all you want for sucking, but they've been taking on a lot more than your average bullpen has.
I was going to say, even if they're like, they may be actually a better bullpen than what we've been seeing.
That's what I just said.
Except for, they're just overworked.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're the wrong people.
And it's not like we've got
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Danny's like, it's what I said. They're the wrong people.
What, IFG?
I said, well, it's not like we've got a Tyler Chatwood that we can ride like a rented horse every game.
Yeah. Or
like, Steve Cishek or something. Like, drag him out again.
Yeah.
Like,
that's exactly who I was thinking of.
Together with bubblegum and twine, but he can get us through 3 innings.
Well, he throws underhand, so his arm will never fall off.
The back end having multiple inning guys is really advantageous to the team because you've got people to step up in matchups that you can play. And if anybody's going to be capable of doing that, it's Craig Counsell. We saw him do it with the Brewers for years. The Cubs offense is pretty average. It was really high up at the start of the year, and it's since fallen back. We saw that with the Mets series. They didn't score as many runs. They got shut out 17-0. So that's going to stink for the old run diff.
And then they won 1-0 on another game.
Yeah. So that's fine. You lose 17-0, win 1-0. So it's all a W, but we're 14th in OPS, 16th in homers. We do walk a lot. We strike out quite a bit. We're average in stolen bases. But I've got a trivia question for you guys and see if you can come up with it together.
Okay.
Which is the Cubs are tied for the league lead in triples. Oh, sorry. I'm frozen, aren't I?
No, we can hear you. You're just frozen video.
Am I frozen?
Video, but not
Keep
voice.
talking.
Yeah, but I'm frozen with my stupid arm up. Yeah. Okay. So the Cubs...
Okay, go ahead.
They lead the league with 8 triples. 8 triples. Each one of the triples was hit by a different person. So the Cubs have 8 triples hit by 8 different players. Who are the 8 players?
Oh my God.
Ooh, interesting.
And see, maybe collectively we can come up with it. I mean, I saw it. I looked it up. So
wait, are we going to break right now so that we can think about this, or?
I mean, I'm a cheater. I already looked it up, but
Oh, yeah. So, all right, Michael, or in the chat, see if you can't start naming off our triples.
Okay, so I know Miggy and Maya hit one because I was very delighted to see that happen.
Andy's a catcher.
Got one, right? Like, are catchers allowed to hit triples? I'm not sure, but he did.
Gomes got one last year, and it blew my freaking mind.
Like, y'all aren't supposed to be doing this. Let me see. Oh my goodness, that is an interesting list.
Well, yeah.
So I knew Miggy and Maya and Christopher Morel did because they are close to my heart and I adore them.
Amaya Morel, so that's 2 of them.
Yep.
Johnny Wong says Bush.
No.
Corey says Happy.
Yes.
He did.
Everett Tosher says hashtag Creek. Everett, you don't know the games that we're playing.
What?
I don't know.
How about here? Horner?
Yes. Nico got one.
Yep. Dansby Swanson got one.
Swansby, yep.
Patrick Wisdom got one.
He did. How weird is that?
And then there's one more that you're probably not going to get.
Is it Seiya?
No.
Seiya Suzuki did not get a triple this year.
Okay, a triple.
Not yet. He'll get one later. It's fine.
You're not going to get it.
Why? Wait.
Somebody says Pete Crow Armstrong is also wrong.
Give me a hint. Why am I not going to get it? Because he's slow or because he doesn't play a lot?
Neither. Just because when you think of this person, you don't necessarily think that he is going to be on the quick side of things. He's generally more like chill, kind of a laid back kind of dude.
It's not Tuckman. Oh, actually, there's 2 people. There's 2 people that I didn't name.
I'm going to say Bellinger then.
Yeah, Bellinger is one. We didn't name him yet.
There's
one more.
And the other one isn't even a Cub anymore.
Yeah.
We left him in New York.
Oh, Garrett Cooper.
Or no, we left him in Boston, didn't we?
Yeah, Garrett Cooper. And yeah, we left him in Boston. Well, it was funny because we left him and he just left Wrigley Field and the fans were like, "Oh, he's been DFA'd." And then 2 days later, we went to Boston, and so did he. So it was like,
oh, okay.
You could. Well, the Boston Red Sox then had to pay to fly him there, and not the Cubs. So good move, Cubs. So,
oh God, Danny, if you had only known, you could have been like, Garrett, let's road trip. That would have been the most amazing road trip. You driving an ex-Cub to his next job.
Well, I also flew to Portland, Maine, so he would have been a little stranged out by that, I think, considering I wasn't going.
Also, the ball gag and the handcuffs would have creeped him out too. But
always does. Cade Horton was promoted to Double-A, probably for all those because of all those injuries, and also I think this is planned that this Cade's on his situation, so on his progress meter or whatever. So I don't know what else to add to April here, except for
it's over.
It's over, and we're in May, and we are we're 1-1.
Well,
yeah.
I had brought this up sort of in our
500 team in May.
In our group chat that I wanted to we'll touch on this before we hit the break. We should go pretty quick with it. I want each of you to give me one thing you've learned about the Cubs in this first month. What's the one, and I know we've learned a lot of things, but what's the one thing that really jumps out at you?
Pete Crow Armstrong knows the holes in the rules.
Damn it, you just learned that this episode.
I did, and I love this for him. I can't wait. See, I've been waiting for this ever since Javi left, where the people are like, you can't do that, and you're like, there's no rule that says a dog can't play baseball.
Oh, you know how to reach my heart. When you equated that to Javi, I went, you're right. I'm glad he did that. I'm happy because somebody been posting some Javi magic on like TikTok recently.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all remember how fucking good Javi was?
Yeah. Well,
holy
like tears in your eyes. I said it before. I'll say it again. I will say it until the end of my life that I would have kept Javi Baez on this team until he was 47 and falling apart. Like, I don't care. I wanted to watch him hit his last home run at Wrigley Field on the day that he retired.
Oh my God.
I don't care. I would watch him be bad for 10 years. I don't care.
The Javi tag porn that I have seen in this last week has just
he invented the genre.
Slightly sad.
So I'll tell you what I learned, and I really didn't learn it until May 2nd, which is today, and that I learned that I accidentally said that Cade went to AA and not AAA because he went to AAA. I said AA, and everybody's telling me. So I learned that. But in response to what I learned in April, I learned that the Cubs were right to trust their depth, and is exactly what I wanted them to do, and it's what I wanted them to do last year. And now they're doing it. And this from Matt Cozy real quick in the chat here from he says, does PCA stay up when Bellinger returns?
That's a question.
Oh my God, I want to answer so bad.
I think
he absolutely does. Honestly. PCA stays. He plays center field. Seiya goes back to right. Bellinger takes first base and Bush is your DH. That's the best goddamn team that we have.
Right. And we don't have Garrett Cooper anymore. Who replaced Garrett Cooper?
Mervis.
Yeah, Mervis goes back down. He will.
I don't care either way. I'm just saying. I'm saying that Bellinger is PCA is too good in the outfield, and now he hits worth a damn. So he has to stay.
And I've been hoping that would be the situation, that like PCA would come up and that he would be a guy, right? And then you need somewhere for Cody to go, and first base is there, and he can want to be the center fielder all that he wants, but like we need a first baseman, and we need his bat in the lineup, and we have another center fielder. So and
Bellinger's
and also
good.
You're nursing a broken rib, so just shut up and stand on first base.
Yeah, and Bellinger's fucking good at first base.
He really is.
And I had this argument with a lot of Cubs fans last year about how center field's so much more important, blah 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 blah. Is center field really more important than first base?
Yes, I think it's pretty damned important. But you have Pete Crow Armstrong playing it. So guess what? It's fine.
It's already better than Bellinger because defensively, he's better than Bellinger.
Yeah. So both things are important. I think center field is a more like it's a flashier position. Like you get to show off and be like the center of attention a little bit more. Nobody's like, oh my gosh, he's an amazing first baseman, unless you're like Anthony Rizzo doing the splits 15 times a game.
Well, you see it when it goes bad.
You notice when it goes bad, but you're not like blown away when it goes good, right?
Exactly.
And then like center fielder, you get to be like, woo, I'm flying, I'm a ballerina. And like that's really flashy and pretty and wonderful, and everybody wants to be like recognized for how amazingly athletic they are. But sometimes you are a dipshit who jumps into a brick wall and breaks your ribs, and now you have to stand on first base for a while and let the 22-year-old play baseball.
See, I personally believe first base is more important than center field because every infield ball goes to first base. You just have to throw the ball there all the time. And
catch, baby.
What you were just saying, IFG, 100%. It's not flashy. But like Danny said, when it's going bad. And Bush, it's going bad. He's fine. He's fine if that's where we're at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, but we're not that.
Baseman.
We're past what Bush is. and we need a guy that can handle the ball over there. And Bellinger has proven that he's that guy. So they got to go there. My one thing that I learned this month, Craig Counsell is better than David Ross. That's what I learned. Unfortunately, I learned that it's not by that much.
I disagree with you.
No, I want to have this argument here, this debate.
I'm very interested in this.
So
undivided attention.
I feel like Craig Counsell, especially early on, was doing all the things that we wanted him to do, right? It was very good.
Yes, I like it when I get my way. Continue.
But then this Madrigal thing is driving me insane. He's putting Madrigal into spots that guys like Canario or Mastroboni should be taken instead of Madrigal. And then until today, he's not making Dansby take a day off. Dansby is struggling out there. And he's not struggling in like a holistic, like he's a bad shortstop. He's struggling in that Dansby Swanson is slightly tired and he needs a day off. He won't take a day off.
Take days off, and he's
I know,
princess, so
this is what I'm talking about. Counsell is better.
He's off today.
He's a better manager in a perfect situation than Ross is, for sure. But now,
dude, he's way better.
But
he is so much freaking better.
Why?
Than
okay, but hold on.
Scenario where he's not better than David Ross.
No. I said he's across the board better than David Ross. I'm not arguing that David Ross is better than Counsell in any way.
All right. I'm saying
it's actually closer than what I was hoping.
Oh no, I can't do that either. Unless you had really
Why is Ian Happ?
Michael Cott's my biggest fan.
Why is Ian Happ hitting third? Ever?
Because half of our roster is broken.
But it doesn't matter. Ian Happ is not a number 3 batter. He's terrible, and he is dropped. He has sucked. He has sucked ever since he went to that spot.
He's perfect. He's number 3.
Yeah, exactly. David Ross believes Ian Happ's the number 3. And as soon as there was a sufficient reason, right? Because Belly and Seiya are gone, he put Happ in there. Happ should not be a number 3 guy.
Do you want Nick Madrigal hitting third? Like,
no, I want. First off,
everybody's hurt. Dude.
No, my first choice is Morel, who hits 4th. Should move up to 3rd. And if not, and then Talkman, who's hitting 2nd and has been killing it, should probably should probably be at 3rd at this point instead of Happ.
Do you even sleep at night?
No, the point is Happ is a terrible number 3 hitter.
Well,
no matter what your situation is, Ian Happ should not be the number 3 hitter. He's terrible at it. He's not good.
I want to ask you this question. What is this injured ass team's record if David Ross was still manager?
Oh, God.
I didn't say he was better than David Ross.
No.
David Ross sucks.
Overall, Ian Happ should not be hitting 3rd, right?
No, I said Counsell.
Ian Happ should be hitting what, 5th?
He should be hitting fucking like he's either a number 1 or maybe an 8 or 9. That's Ian Happ.
Are the Cubs right now are playing 2 games above their Pathag? Are they doing that if David Ross is the manager?
No, and I said Craig Counsell is better than David Ross across the board.
Right.
He's just, he's not as much better. He's not as much better as I thought early on. I thought, oh my God, this team is going to be so different.
Okay, so here's my thing.
And yet he still plays Madrigal all the fucking time. He still puts Happ at 3rd, and I know it's And I understand that there are injuries, but he's not a number 3 hitter.
Right.
He's a better manager overall, but he still falls into these fucking stupid traps of not making Dansby take breaks.
He took a break today.
It's the first fucking day, Danny. Jesus Christ. It's not like he had a fucking he's been taking days off.
Because what? That's who you hired. He will not sit.
And if you're the manager, you need to fucking pay attention and give him a day off when he needs it. And he's needed it for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Cotton, sweetie. My favorite. My pet. Okay, so we all understand that the lineup has injuries, right? Like, so Saya and
it doesn't matter. Hap is not the number 3.
I fully, I'm here with you. I'm feeling you. All right. The whole argument is not anything but Ian Happ should not be hitting third, right? So my question
and Madrigal should just absolutely never play.
Great, I get it. Those are two very important things, and we can put them both together. So we sit here and we look at the lineup, and considering the fact that we have these injuries, right? What is our alternative, right? So you want Ian Happ hitting first. So then,
which, by the way, he is shitty.
Not
at
very
as well.
good at.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Look,
I'm not worth negative WAR right now. Ian Happ is worth -2 WAR right now.
He's not at his best. He's recovering from an injury, right? He was out for a while, wasn't he? Like, did I?
He was.
He had a little bit of a hamstring issue.
Since spring.
Right. So, okay, so we need somebody else to hit third. Who should be hitting third? You say Christopher Morel should be hitting third. Who should be hitting fourth?
Oh, no. You want to go through the lineup? We can go through the lineup.
I mean, like, if your whole argument is Ian Happ should not be hitting third, please tell me what the better option is.
Oh, it's so easy because fucking Ian Happ's just so bad. Almost anybody's better than him. But I honestly, look, Ian Happ.
Somebody out of whole cloth to just come and play. Like, you have no
Ian Happ's your leadoff guy, not because Ian Happ's your leadoff guy because he sees more pitches than anybody else on this team.
He also stinks at it.
Like some people say that the math says that you should put your best hitter at leadoff because then they get to see more pitches, and they get to get more options to hit. So why
he sees more pitches.
Negative WAR at leadoff.
Okay, he's not.
He's best.
Horner
hitting
should be number. Horner can be number 2 the way he's hitting now versus what he started. But the way he's hitting now, Horner's your number 2 guy. Or if you want to switch it up because you've got a lefty or righty, honestly, you can just flip-flop Horner and Happ. But those are your guys up top to get the most to get your most pitches. And then if you don't have Saya and Belly,
which we
that's when you put in Morel. And the way that Tauchman is hitting right now, you move him in there. You have to be more fluid with the lineup when you have injuries. When you don't have injuries, I loved what they were doing early in the season without the injuries. When the lineup was set with you had Horner and then God, who did you have?
David Elliott, you're right. Highest OBP should be batting leadoff. Anyway, my question is, does all of this shuffling people around help you when you're being no hit through 7 innings?
Now, look, I'm looking at the whole season. I'm looking at everything that's going on. Happ is not a number 3 hitter. And some of his struggles right now are coming with him being there. Horner is really good.
Yeah, but he's not top 3. Spot. But you keep bringing up Horner, but he has nothing to do with who's the number 3.
No, it does because he's the other leadoff. They have put Horner at the top. I would rather have Horner at 3 than Happ. Fucking any day of the goddamn week.
I think Tauchman is actually your leadoff hitter because he's had an incredible start to the year. He has the best OBP.
You know what? I'm not going to argue if that's where you're going with it.
Depending
My issue
against
here
a
is
righty,
that
I do two different things. But I would in this scenario though. I think you've got to keep Hap up towards the top of the lineup. He might be he could hit number 2. He could hit number 3, but I think he's got to be up there because
I don't think he can hit number 3, and I don't even think he can hit number 4 or 5. He's maybe a 6 or deeper, unless you're going to put him up top in order to see a lot of pitches.
On a team that has Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki on it, absolutely.
Sure.
But this
No. Listen.
Hap didn't bat third until those guys were out. So
and it was going well, but just because
you're blaming Counsell for something he can't control, you're saying
no, he can fucking control where Hap hits. No matter, I don't care if every fucking player on this team dies. Hap doesn't hit 3. Hap is not a 3 hitter. He's fucking terrible at it.
If every player died, he'd be batting first.
And then I'd be like, I get that.
You know how I said that hitters can't think and hit at the same time? I think if you move Ian Happ down to 7th, he never hits again.
Well, I'm looking at his splits here, and
because he's going to be doing nothing but thinking about why he's the fucking 7th hitter all of a sudden.
He's actually.
I honestly don't give a shit because Ian Happ's not that fucking good a player.
Can I tell you where he bats best? Because it's true. He should not be batting 1 through 4. He does best at 5th.
What did I say?
Yeah.
I said 6.
Or whatever,
personally,
right?
I said 6,
is
but
bad. 6 is not as best. He's
okay.
7th,
but
I don't like that.
5th,
But
7th.
And maybe 6 is because it's a leadoff spot.
Well, no, it's not. In
It
what world?
could be.
Yeah, they all could be. But
I mean,
no, I guess no. Oh, I'm sorry.
6th is the third of the second inning.
Right. 6 is yet another third spot. That's what I meant to say.
5th and 9th are his best. And actually,
and what did I say earlier? 8th or 9th would be better than fucking 3rd.
Well,
he's just not a 3rd hitter.
His 9th is like a second leadoff spot if you're quick.
Which is why I might put him there.
And his TOPS plus is better at 3rd than at and it's this order: batting 3rd, batting 1st, then batting 4th, then batting 2nd.
What did you just say? What was TOPS?
TOPS plus.
I don't even understand what that means.
Team OPS, which is like 327 or something.
OPS split to himself. His OPS split to himself. How much better did he do than his normal self at this particular position? This is splits for his career. Is that he is better? He only has so you have to be above 100 to be above average for yourself. And batting third is one of those. Going from worst to best, it's 5th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 3rd, and then 6th. 1st, 2nd is actually his worst place. And I don't know what you mean. He's batted 3rd, unfortunately, more than anywhere.
I just
we were not in a position where our much better hitters were broken and sidelined, but that's where we're at right now. And
I think there are better hitters on this team.
And I think
with all the injuries, there are better people to have at 3rd than Ian Happ.
I'm sorry.
Ian Happ's fucking terrible at it. And we can disagree about this if you want. That's fine. You can have your opinions about it. I have my opinions about it. I hate seeing Ian Happ at 3rd. And I fucking wish it would never happen again. And when I look at how Counsell's running this team early on in the season, I loved it. And then as soon as the injuries started coming, then all of a sudden we're getting more magical. We're getting Happ at 3rd.
Because that's what's left over after you take the good players out.
That's how it works.
But no, you guys act like there's only one fucking way to do the job. There's not that you can.
What you're asking for.
That's how
you can do a lot besides just. Well, I guess Happ's 3rd now, and then you don't ever fucking change the.
Well, what are you supposed to do, though? I mean, you're like, well, the guy's got.
I fucking told you.
Morel
at 3rd. Talkman at 3rd. Happ at 8 or 9. I fucking told you. I said it 4 times. You act as if there's no other fucking way to do this, but I keep telling you, there are other ways to do this. You don't have to do it with Madrigal ever. Madrigal shouldn't be on the fucking team.
That's really the issue. He never wants to see.
And
Madrigal
Hap should never be at third, ever. It doesn't matter who's on your fucking team. He shouldn't be third. He should be at the lower end of the lineup, or he should be at the top because you're working that fucking like extra pitch count bullshit. That's all the reason that you put him where he's at. He sees more pitches than anybody else. That's it.
How about Madrigal playing third and batting third? How do you like that?
I love that. Where did IFG was just like, I'm fucking bailing.
I'm out. That's the end of the show for me.
I love Morel at third, and I love him batting third. I don't mind him batting fourth. My biggest issue is just the fact that they just keep fucking putting Hap out there as if he's a guy, and he's not. Hap's not a guy.
We all wanted me and Hap.
Can we all agree at least on that? Hap's not a guy.
Well, I mean,
I'm waiting.
What do you mean?
Do you agree that Hap is not a guy?
Are you kidding
no,
me?
I've agreed that for a long time.
Yeah,
I really want him to be
then
a
quit
guy.
fucking arguing with me and let me push him to the back of the fucking lineup.
He's on the team though. We need him.
I understand that, and he'd be better if he was fucking last than if he was third.
I mean, like, I wouldn't put myself batting third either because I don't have the capability of, like, hitting a ball a long way. But, like, Ian Happ could do it if he could figure it the fuck out.
Oh, my God. How many home runs does he have?
1.
Yeah. There's your third hitter.
Well, we get...
Michael Bush can't hit 3.
We
fucking... Christopher Morel can't hit 3. Michael Togman can't hit 3. You know why? Because if you don't have Bellinger or Suzuki, then apparently the only guy you have is Hap.
Yeah, you pretty much do.
No. Fuck you.
Do we have another
It's fucking insane.
There's no other way to calm him down. I gotta get a water hose, but it won't reach to Iowa.
Ian Happ is terrible. Where they're misusing.
I'm gonna call your wife to hit you with a water
you can
text her right now.
Ian Happ can be a very good player if used properly. He is being used improperly.
Wouldn't that be great if we could we need the number of somebody else in the apartment at all times, and
so to hit you with a spray bottle.
You're like, you know what? I need to take care of this guy physically, and just come in with a super soaker, and Emily comes in and starts nailing you.
Just dumps a bucket of water over his head.
I'm afraid because Nicole would be way too happy to do that to me.
Yeah. Joey W says he is just not the man.
Well, you said technically he is a guy. He is just not the man.
He's not the anything.
All right. Well, we got to cut pretty much everything.
Master Boney could do that better. He absolutely could do that better.
We're moving forward because this show is already 2 hours in length.
But
and
it's been fun.
Hap is batting 217 right now.
We all know Hap's not good.
Shut up,
this is not the point.
Well, then quit fucking arguing for him to be number 3 hitter.
We're not. Nobody's arguing that. We're just telling you why he is the 3 hitter. And not why he should be.
But that's my favorite thing is that you just justify what the fuck the bad decisions are.
Yeah, because that's baseball, baby.
No, it's not.
gotta make some bad decisions. Hope they work out.
The Cubsler.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They did make bad decisions in the offseason, but it did work out for them because they had way more depth than we realized.
I'm going to play an In the Clutch commercial, and then when we're going to come back, we're going to quickly go through just what's going to happen against the Brewers, and then we're going to do the Cubsler, and then we're going to get the hell out of here, and we're going to go briefly over to the Discord because we went too long in this show. So
we have not gone too long. Fuck. I can keep going.
God damn it!
I'm ready. Let's just keep going.
I do wish I had like the AI to just like go through all the Sun Ranto shows and have you argue against yourself.
I don't argue against myself. I'm very consistent. It may be consistently bad. I will give you that. There are bad takes, but I'm consistent.
Well, we'll be right back. We'll be consistently
I like
back.
the Cubs a bunch, and I think we should buy T-shirts from In the Clutch.
I agree.
If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his double U. Cody Bellinger, Smoking Dukes. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your stro. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SUNRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In The Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In The Clutch. Get it all at In The Clutch. Get it all at In The Clutch.
Okay, we are back, and just real quick about In the Clutch. In the Clutch shirts is where you get awesome shirts like the one that me and Michael are now moderating. Dude, we look ridiculous. We really do look so dorky, like especially sitting next to each other. Oh my God!
They also have really cool shirts like this one.
Yeah, they're so. They have
I
so many.
love my In the Clutch Shohei Ohtani Showtime shirt. Look. At the plate or on the mound, it's showtime.
Yeah, they also have a very cool Seiya Suzuki shirt in that sort of same style too that I like.
And we recently, this is our newest creation. Unfortunately, the day it came out was the day that Adbert lost his job. The people got fisted. So well, hopefully he'll get its job back and the people's fist will come back and this shirt can sell because it's a cool shirt. It's very like 80s red, purple. You know, it looks like a Mets City Connect.
It's a pretty cool shirt, I gotta admit.
And one thing I forgot to say before we went to commercial is that we have the supporting Cubs segment of the show. I totally skipped over it, but I wanted to thank everybody who donated to Chris Salato's Facebook fundraiser for Lost Boys. $808 was raised through that. And a lot of it was through the Patreon supporters because I tithed our 10% off to the Lost Boys and I went on to Chris's fundraiser, but also other people jumped onto that too. $808 went into that. I also wanted to mention, because we haven't for a little bit, is David Lieb's mental health suicide prevention Out of the Darkness event. That's coming up really soon. If you don't know about it, it's at theovernight.org. David, it's an all-night event that he's participating in. So very beautiful thing that he's doing. And then the last thing I want to mention is the new thing, which is that Blake Beard, who is one of our super duper ranters, he supports us at a level in which we advertise for his tickets.
He supports us at a level that everybody wishes they could support at.
Yeah, which is $25. Which is that's the level at which you could basically get a commercial for whatever the hell you want. Okay, so if you have something you want to sell, you can have us say it every single show for $25. We really come that cheap. But Club 400 is
that's what she said.
I knew that was coming. Club 400 is having a auction or a raffle of Blake Beard's tickets, which he donated. So I dropped the link in the chat. It's club400.betterworld.org, and then there's giveaways there. And I'll just put up the kind of screenshot so you know you're at the right place when you see it. Where the heck did I put it? Is this it? No. Oh, here we go. It's for July 19th. Blake Beard is raffling his tickets through Club 400, and all the proceeds go to Club 400 so they can keep throwing their charity events, help with all the overhead and stuff like that. So do that. So thank you, Blake Beard, for being such a generous person and then Clutch for supporting our show.
And then also, even beyond that, Joey W. wants to thank all of the ranters that reached out to help a student of his who was dealing with some tough times. And that was completely separate of a lot of the things that we do. But he reached out to this community, and you are a community, and we appreciate you guys all so much. And you reached out and you helped not just one of your own, but somebody adjacent to one of your own. And that's just so nice to do. So thank you all.
I appreciate you for what you do, Joey. Thank you.
Hell yeah. So we got the Brewers coming to town, and this is the first series against the Central team.
Yeah. And then the next
insane.
one is going to be we'll have the Brewers again when I'm in Chicago. Right? Because we're going up on the 30th, I think.
Yeah, so we have them at the end of the month.
It's the first time I get to see Wrigley North, y'all. Oh man, it's gonna be fun. You should come to the game with me.
There's no Ivy. It sucks.
Please wear your Council jersey.
Oh, it is already packed, babe. Already packed. I'm very excited.
Oh, by the way, I didn't show this. Did I show you these? That these came? The Sun Ranto?
Yes!
Oh, I can't wait to get one of those.
Here, look how many.
We made some Ranter bracelets. They're all blue and red with white letters. And
I didn't realize you got some turquoise ones.
Yeah, those are for me to take home. I'm gonna start doing live bitch clock outside of T-Mobile Park.
Yeah.
And so if you get on with me and do bitch clock live at T-Mobile Park, I'll give you a Mariners colored bracelet.
Well, we're giving these away at Ranterfest, so come on, bid your ticket to Ranterfest and be a part of the comedy.
And by the way, Bitch Clock Live is something that Danny has actually purchased a spinner. He has the spinner. Bitch Clock Live will take place for the first time. The live version will happen at Ranterfest.
I might try it out live first at Ballhawk Corner sometime this month, just to kind of
to make sure it runs properly for Ranterfest.
Yeah, well, no, just so I can break it the day before Ranterfest and it won't be there and we have to scramble, because I really like that kind of pressure on day game.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about, you said the Brewers are coming to town. I wanted to just run through a little, just real fast. Everybody's talking early on about how the Central Division is bad, right? Like that was sort of the narrative off of last year coming into this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna screenshot this, by the way, and put it up so everybody can actually see it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the National League Central is actually, I think they're pretty good this year, and everybody's starting to come around to the fact that they are. And part of this is due to the fact that we haven't got to play each other a lot. So we're seeing what the Central Division looks like against other divisions. So the Cubs, we are 4-3 versus the East. That's winning record. 8-4 against the West.
The mighty West. Oh, they're good.
Yeah, they're the best, right? And we're 7-5 in interleague, which is honestly pretty good. And then 0-0 in the Central because we haven't played anybody yet. The Reds are 7-6 in the East, 1-2 in the West, 7-5 interleague, 1-2 in the Central. The Cardinals 5-4 against the East, 6-7 against the West. And I'll tell you right now, the Cardinals freaking suck. So the fact that they went 6-7 against the West means something. They are 3-3 in interleague, and they are 0-3 in the Central, which means that they only played one series. Pittsburgh 8-6 against the East. You want to know where Pittsburgh started their nice run to be in first place at the start of the season? That's where it was, in the East. 1-2 against the West, 3-8 interleague, so they're struggling. but 2-2 against the Central. Brewers are 3-0 against the East, 1-2 versus the West, 8-6 in the Central, or 8-6 against the Interleague, and then 7-3 versus the Central.
So they've been playing everybody.
They've been playing everybody, and they're actually doing really well. So overall, the Central is 27-19 against the East. They are 17-17 versus the West, and they are 28-27 in interleague play. This is what everybody thought was going to be maybe the worst division in baseball this year, except for maybe AL Central.
Early. I'm
the
sorry.
AL Central.
It is way too early. It's April. I'm not going to say anything.
No. I'm just saying that coming into the season, they thought everybody in the Central was going to be bad, AL and NL, but they're proving the other way.
Is this evidence of the Central being good, or is this evidence of me being right and most teams aiming to be the shitty 500 team?
That might be as well. But here's my issue. The Cubs are doing great in April, and we're all happy about that.
So fun.
Unfortunately, we have not played what might be the best division in baseball, the Central, which starts tomorrow.
Yeah, totally.
Which starts tomorrow against the Brewers. So, Danny, what do we have against the Brewers? Hey, look, I'm setting everybody up to feel good about the Central.
Let's go.
And then bringing it back home with this may not be good for the Cubs.
Brewers are fighting. The Brewers are fighting everybody. They're literally having bench clearing, fist fighting brawls against everybody they play. They had a huge brawl against the Rays. They're going to be. They've got a chip on their shoulder, and it's not going to be easy. They're going to come in. They're going to be a tough team. They're going
to be pissed off at us because we have their dad.
We have their dad, and seriously, it's like. Yeah, no, they're not going to be happy.
They're going to be even more pissed off when we tell them he's not that much better than our last dad.
No, when you tell them that, you tell them that you're going to be the one kid that like defects to the new family. Their offense is one of the best in baseball. They have third in OPS, fourth in homers, sixth in walks. They don't strike out that much. They steal a lot of bases. Their pitching is average, but so is ours. And they do give up a fair amount of home runs. Their defense is better than ours. They have a 708 DER right now. We only have a 700.
I'm going to blame that all on Dansby Swanson.
We have more errors than league average. They have less errors than league average. And
I'm going to blame that on Bush.
They have caught 30% of runners. And we've caught I forget what it was. I looked it up before.
It's been some sloppy shit out there. I'll tell you.
I'm going to blame that on Gomer.
We've caught 14% of runners. So basically in almost every single category, we are lesser than what the Brewers have put out there, which is why they are in first place right now.
The first place team in the best division in baseball.
Because weren't we first place 12 hours ago or something?
But we are no longer in first place, I believe.
Okay. We were yesterday.
Let's see. I never actually look at this.
I feel like we were in first place yesterday. I was
we are a game
the Cubs and the Mariners are both in first place. It was fun.
We're a game out.
12 hours.
Here's my only concern. The Brewers have actually played the Central, and the Cubs have not. And as I just told you, the Central is the best division.
It doesn't look like it. I mean, not if the Brewers are freaking rolling through it. Maybe they're better than all those teams and haven't played good teams yet.
And that would be interesting, except for
it's the opposite of what you say, that it's actually the shittiest division. And the only reason the Brewers have been able to rack up so many wins after they've lost their ace and they just have old ass.
But I just told you,
Christian Yelich rotting in their outfield with the cheating.
The Central
outfield.
Is 8 games over 500 against the
Brewers.
East. They're even against the West. They're a game over in interleague. The Central as a whole is beating the rest of the league.
So the Brewers are winning on the road. That's also disconcerting. They are 12-4 on the road. So they've been a good road team so far. And and here's what we're getting. Joe Ross, who's got an ERA of 5.40, up against Hayden Wisniewski,
that's David Ross's son, by the way. He's looking for revenge.
Exactly. So you got to be careful of that. Then you're giving away a power bank on Saturday.
What's a power bank?
Yeah.
Literally the stadium giveaway is like a phone charger.
Look at this thing. It looks like a lipstick or something.
I love.
Oh my gosh! It is a Cubs branded like phone charger, but like the advertisement on the side is Reynolds Wrap. So it is a tinfoil phone charger.
Yeah.
What I love is that they call it a power bank, as if it's like so much more impressive than it really is.
It kind of looks like it's tiny and isn't going to hold up like a lot of charge.
It looks like it looks like a lipstick branded Reynolds Wrap.
Looks like a battery is what it looks like. Like a
AAA, by the way.
Yeah. So that's game 2. They're giving away this, and Tobias Myers, who I've never heard of, is 0-1 with a 450. Anybody heard of Tobias Myers?
I'm sorry. These are all like Gen Z babies. Some of them might even be Gen Alpha. Like that kid was definitely named after a character in the Everworld book series, right? Like, I'm sorry. I'm an elder millennial. Everybody had a crush on Tobias. He was the boy who could turn into a falcon. No?
Yeah. And
that's definitely who he's named after. I'm like, guarantee you.
Yeah, probably. Not a lot of Tobiases out there unless they're freaking Amish or something. But somebody put May the 4th is, May the 4th be with you. That's
Dominic Galoro says it's Star Wars Day.
And they're giving away a Reynolds Wrap battery, and I don't know, because that's what Darth Vader eats, I guess.
Look, when you need to charge your lightsaber on the go, use Reynolds Wrap.
If you need 4 more minutes of your lightsaber.
So Tyone is going in that game, and he looked really good so far. He went toe-to-toe with a guy throwing a no-hitter, so that was really good. He's got a 150 ERA in his few starts that he's done. And then in game 3, it's Freddie Peralta, who is pretty much their ace right now, 3-0 with a 321 against the ass man, who we all know everybody's going to sleep on. He's going to come in and throw a no-hitter. And
sleeping on the ass man.
That day, they're giving away this.
Sleeping on the ass man sounds very comfortable to me.
I've seen that movie. See, the Clark the Club plushie series. This is the first of them. Collect them all 5 Clark plushies. It only goes to kids. So 5,500 children can get this plushie, 13 and under. I'm sorry, but a 13-year-old, they're a little old for a plushie there, son. Your name got a teen, but I think
whatever. They're
12, except for
full-grown adults are getting bobblehead dolls. Come on.
Yeah. Well, look at all IFG's plushies that you
and what I love David Elliott's comment here. The battery that we were just talking about, it's a part of a portable charging attachment, otherwise known as a PCA.
There you go. Well, there's branding there too.
I want the Cubby plushie.
You have many a plushie.
I have Webby, who is the mascot of the Everett Aqua Sox. I've got Moose, who is, we love Mariners.
Yeah, we're there.
We got a Mariner like Squishmallow reversible that's a kitty cat and also a unicorn. If you turn him inside out, he's a unicorn.
Just like me.
Woo, unicorn. Anyway, and then
just
I have
like
these
Justin
guys
Steele fastball. It's a unicorn.
These were mascots from the 2008 Olympics. So we have like the Olympics mascot and the baseball mascot.
Can I just say that is an interesting collection, and it's not enough. Everyone who sees this, start sending baseball mascot plushies to IFG.
Also,
please.
I have this one that I adore a lot. I found this at a thrift store. This is it's a little like
Put baseball cards in it too.
It's a mitt. It says home run on it. It's got a little baseball, and they're gonna give you spaces for baseball cards. So
what cards do you have in there?
I put some CPBL players who were the oldest players on their team who also hit home runs a lot. Because it says home run on there. So I had to put some home run hitters. So this is my hot old guys.
And they're old and they need to rest on a nice soft pillow. That'll help them rest. Well, that's awesome. So I didn't know this about plushies before. I knew about people liking soft things. I mean, that's a given for all humanity.
I knew about people dressing up that way and having sex, which honestly sounds exciting.
No, that's a
furry, not plushy, sweetie.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
That's a whole different thing.
Is it?
I mean,
it doesn't have to be. So then San Diego's coming to town, and once again, Cubstradamus has not shown up for work. So I don't know what's up with that guy. He comes back for 2 shows. He says he's got to get his robe cleaned, and I don't see him for 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. So Ranterfest, please buy your tickets so that we know who's coming. That's really helpful if you buy them.
And come hang out with me. I'm going to be in Chicago.
Yeah, and I will say this too. There's not a lot of room at these places. So, I mean, I know we're a month away, and probably people are like, hey, it's fine. I'll get my tickets. But honestly, like, there's a good chance we're going to sell this thing out. And, I've got a lot. I got all the bloggers coming. Like, that front room only holds 100 people. Like, between like the Mai Tai guys who aren't going to pay because he's just going to walk in. Like Ronnie Woo, he doesn't pay for anything, for example. Like, he hasn't paid for a single thing since 1984. So anyway, get your tickets now because you're not or dress like Ronnie Woo Woo. I'll let you in free.
There you go. We could do
you have to be in blackface and walk through Chicago.
We have like a Ronnie Woo Woo lookalike competition.
Oh my God, it'd be incredible. Except for I don't know if we should go all the way. If I don't want,
the blackface would be bad.
Yeah, I don't think it.
That's why I said if you walk across Chicago in blackface, you deserve to get in free, but you might not make it.
Oh no, I'm not letting you in. I'm not letting you in at that point.
I just feel that the black will be beat off of them.
So, who did the Cubsler this week? Because I know I'm kind of rushing us there.
Yeah.
No.
One time I've ever actually had the answer,
important.
and I want to know who else got it.
We actually need it. Okay, so the Cubsler. Let me bring that up. Cubsler number 16 was on a contact play. He'd be waiting. It's no big deal to get a guy in a pickle, a battery backup. See, I'm thinking about the battery pack, a battery backup to Wilson in 17. So if you want to know what this all means, on a contact play, a guy is running from third to home. A catcher will be waiting. It's no big deal. Dill, not deal. Dill. To get a guy in a pickle, and he is a battery backup to Wilson in 17. Well, the answer is a man named Pickles Dillhofer, who was a catcher for the Chicago Cubs in 1917, not 2017, 1917, and the Wilson, who was the starting catcher, only had one L in his name. It was Art Wilson, not Wilson Contreras. So many people reached out and said, Dylan Maples, and those are ranters because, Danny, didn't it, one of the unconventionals, we had a jar of dill pickles and a maple syrup, and it was signed by Dylan Maples.
Yeah. Evan Altman got that done.
Altman got that. That's a ranter thing. Nobody else thinks dill pickles and thinks of Dylan Maples at all.
I think they do. No, I think they absolutely do. I mean, that was my first thought actually when I saw the Cubs last week.
Look, here over in the chat, David Elliott's like, I just realized I was an entire century off in my answer for the Cubsler. In my defense, Dylan Maples also has Dill in his name. He signed a jar of pickles at CubsCon.
Yeah, well, and people know that, but also Dylan Maples was very recently on the team, and the word dill, I mean,
and
that's the first thing I thought of too.
His first
Andy
season
was brought in to take over for Justin Wilson when Wilson was bad in 2017, so he fits the clues.
Exactly. And Wilson Contreras he was actually the backup catcher to Mickey Montero in 2017.
But he's not saying that. He's saying Justin Wilson.
Justin Wilson.
Right. No, but I'm moving on with the clue.
I locked into Wilson/Justin Wilson in 2017.
Yep. And I'm moving on with the clue is Wilson Contreras had a backup because the third catcher in when Miguel went down was Alex Avila. And so the two answers that we got the most often was Dylan Maples and Alex Avila, because everybody was looking at 2017.
Yep.
And not
You know why I was able to get the answer to this question before the end of last week's show?
Because
it's my obsession with weird ass baseball names. This is my Dick's Cunts and Assenmachers collection Bible. I don't actually have a card for this guy in here. It's one of my one of my white whales. I need to get one.
Does one exist?
It's a missing piece of the collection.
I don't even know if one exists for 1917 backup catcher. Now,
no.
IFG.
Yes.
You are, I'm not going to say you're an expert, but you know the story of
Pickles
Dillhofer. I keep wanting to say Dill's Picklehofer, and that's wrong.
There is a Pickles card, by the way.
Dillhofer. So tell us about Pickles Dillhofer.
Yeah, absolutely. He's so fun. First of all, it's a fantastic name. And like a lot of really great baseball nicknames, it was like he was named that by his cousin when he was 5 years old or something. His name was William Dillhofer. So Bill Dillhofer, Will Dillhofer. I don't know. For some reason, his little cousin named him Pickles. And that kind of
is disturbing.
So at some point, some minor league baseball clubhouse found out that his cousin called him Pickles, and they're like, Dill Pickles. We're going to call you Pickles Dill. I don't know. So he's Pickles Dillhofer. So once upon a time, we had our catcher, Pickles Dillhofer. And he was a member of the Chicago Cubs in 2017. Eventually, we sold him to Columbus for $300.
$300 to Columbus, which, by the way, I think Columbus had a major league team, right?
Yeah. So he wasn't particularly good for the Cubs. He was in 3 games. It doesn't even matter. He hit 200 if he was lucky. But he was sold off to Columbus. He ended up being traded to Philly. But he was part of the biggest, the craziest trade in all of history. That $300. And we ended up getting a pitcher for him that would go on to win 125 games or something like that. But he ended up on Philly in 2017. He had registered for the draft like you had to do when World War I was happening. And he was A1 because, professional athlete, he's going to be, really high up in the draft order. And he just decided 8 games into the season that he was just going to go ahead and enlist.
He was having that bad of a year, huh?
So the Phillies, yeah. So if you actually go, I used to be a member of SABR. I need to just pay my dues so I can be a member again. But you can go onto the SABR website. There's a really great biography for Pickles Dillhofer on there. And so, the Phillies, they have a long history of trading away future Hall of Famers for really shitty players. They gave us Ryan Sandberg and Larry Boa for Ivan DeJesus. Ivan DeJesus. They gave us Fergie Jenkins for a couple of pitchers whose combined age was 72. This is all from the SABR bio by Chris Rainey. And anyway, so, Bill Pickles Dillhofer was born in 1893, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, he eventually, he abandoned the team to go fight in World War I.
Yeah, but who was the pitcher that they got for? Yeah, that we got.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that guy's name. Hold on, let me see if I can find it really fast. Like I wanted to have it in my head, but
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It's Alexander, something Alexander.
Grover Cleveland.
Yes, Grover Cleveland Alexander. That's who it was. We traded him and one other guy, and we got Grover Cleveland Alexander and like some guy named Mick or something. And Grover Cleveland Alexander, he won like 123 games, I think. For us, went on to like do a career almost 200 wins, and then the hitter that we got played for us for 4 years and hit like like 220 or something like that. But anyway, we ended up like trading this dude away. We got all this great stuff, but he ended up going to the Phillies or the Philadelphia Quakers or whatever they were at the time. And he played 8 whole games, got 2 whole major league hits, and then he's like, I'm going to war instead. And so he goes to war and comes back a couple years later. They ship him off to St. Louis. He becomes a fan favorite Cardinal.
And based on the picture, hold on, Danny, back up that picture one.
Okay, so this is him.
Based on the picture, he lost half his arm.
Yeah, look how short.
It's one of those like cigarette pack cards that they had in like the early 1900s.
Looks like he's got a T-Rex arm.
Yeah, they used a knife.
Throwing the baseball.
They used a knife to create his fist on his elbow.
So anyway, he ends up on the Cardinals after he comes back from like surviving World War I or whatever. He all like, bro, I've like been to war and stuff. He went and joined the American Legion. And he was like super into the fact that he had been to war. He was a real hard ass though. He liked to fight umpires. From
Not a good idea if you're a catcher.
Yeah, so from the Sabre bio, it says Dillhofer's feisty nature made headlines during the season. He drew a 3-game suspension in June for a tirade aimed at umpire Bill Brennan. In August, he got into a fist fight with Frank Snyder, who is a giant at that point. Cardinals outfielder Joe Schultz had been beaned, and Dillhofer suggested retaliation would be coming. Snyder threw down his mask and attacked Dillhofer. Despite giving away 30 pounds, Dillhofer defended himself well until umpire Ernie Quigley stepped between them and Snyder was ejected. Like, the dude just liked to start fights. I don't know. He didn't get enough fighting whoever the hell it was he was fighting in World War I. He decided he had to fight umpires and the other teams as well.
Well, this douchebag decided, I'm not going to wait for somebody to tell me to go fight some people. I'm going to join up to fight people.
Just going to do it. He goes and enlists. He comes back. He's done fighting. Now he's got to fight people on the ball field. So some point in like 1922, the dude goes and gets married. His good
and he
buddy
fought her too, I heard.
Yeah, his good buddy like introduces him to a cousin or something. He goes and gets married to the lady, takes her on a nice honeymoon to
his own
New
cousin,
Orleans.
by the way.
This is 1922, mind you. So he goes and gets married. He takes the lady to New Orleans, shows her a nice honeymoon, comes back and realizes he's got typhoid fever. And considering that like antibiotics wouldn't be discovered or synthesized until like 1928, I think Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. He ended up typhoid fever, took over his whole body, got into his lungs, got into his gallbladder. He had surgery to take out his gallbladder and did not recover, and he died.
The most amazing part of that story is that he hit 128 his last year before he died.
Yep.
When he was
distracted by knocking the shit out of umpires and running off to New Orleans and going to war and whatnot. Cardinals fans really loved the dude. They thought he was great while he was, fighting umpires or whatever he was doing. But unfortunately, he was generally just an extremely mediocre baseball player with a really bad attitude. And Cardinals fans loved him, and then he died of typhoid fever.
Sounds like fuck him. Good riddance.
Yeah, but we got Grover Cleveland Alexander, which is a great.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Most lopsided trade in Cubs history, possibly in all of baseball history.
So basically, we're even now for Brock Fabroglio. Right now that we know about this, it's like
anytime anybody says Brock Fabroglio, we need to say
Dillhofer for Alexander, jerk.
Yeah.
That's right.
And David Elliott says, we fucking traded a Mickey and a pickle for Grover, Cleveland, Alexander. Bring that general manager back.
Yeah, where's that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and then
dead. Yeah. Oh wait, we got to give away we got to do the prize. So you put me and IFG in this thing. I don't think I belong in it.
No. Look, okay, for everybody who's wondering, first off, this was the hardest one according to how many correct answers we got. We only had Scott Sowers and Nate Corbett. They're the only ones that got the correct answers, except for the fact that IFG and Danny got it immediately. When we were doing the show, I did the thing and they both posted in the chat. And so, you know what? I said, I don't want to go 50-50. I'm going to go 25%. And I also,
the key to that was to not looking anything up and just knowing weird baseball players.
Just knowing the name Pickles Dillhofer.
That sounds like Pickles, but then I saw like Wilson had one L, and I'm like 17. I don't know. There's a reason he said 17 and not 2017. It must be 1917, and then you can go look that up. But like a lot of times, I don't know. I feel like this was actually more obvious in a lot of them. But you had to kind of know where you were going from, I think.
Right. Well, but if you were to actually look up the 1970 Cubs, Art Wilson was the leadoff.
I accidentally hit it.
It's
I
fine.
Yes.
I will be screaming Randy Dockett. Randy Dockett will get into it. But look.
Here's my prize. You never do that.
For Nate Corbett, because Scott Sowers is part of the group. Nate Corbett is sort of, I don't know if he's part of the group. He answered the call.
Nate Corbett.
I haven't either. Nate, if you are wondering, you are in to the ultimate grand prize. Every time that you get a correct answer, you get your name into a spot on the grand prize. So when we do this grand prize, the wheel will be enormous. And there will be
Nate Corbett is watching this show right now are about the same as Nate Corbett winning the grand prize.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, if you give a correct answer, regardless if you win my voice on your voicemail, which you should want, and Danny does not, you will get into the grand prize winner. Oh. What is IFG doing?
She's.
I was bored. I wanted to open some baseball
She's
cards.
cracking a pack.
She's cracking a pack.
Let's just keep it going.
Baby.
Keep it going. Nobody's got shit to do. Tomorrow is Friday. Nobody cares.
What are you talking about? I got to freaking work.
So does everyone else. But it's Friday. Friday, you're going to fucking kind of call it in.
89. I got some 89 done.
You're going to be.
I don't know. I just pushed my hand into the bucket full of cards.
Fight through your hangover in the morning.
We got some Billy Mike Smiths in here. Right.
Who do we got here? No,
Billy Mike Smithson. Got some Joe Carter.
Oh, he was good.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, Joe Carter.
Ex-Cub.
Yeah.
Joe
That's what he's remembered for, is ex-Cub.
For me. Yeah, because they should have kept him.
Oh, my gosh. If you look at the back here, it says contract status, signed through 1989. How acquired? Traded from Cubs to Indians, 6/13 of 84 with outfielder Mel Hall, pitcher Darrell Banks, and pitcher Don Schultze for Rick Sutcliffe, Ron Hasse, and George Frazier. So
okay, you know what? They got Rick Sutcliffe for him.
For why we got Rick Sutcliffe.
Yeah,
you know what? I say good trade.
And we got rid of Mel Hall.
So true.
Who is only famous for hosting game shows.
Yeah, we're not getting into Mel Hall at this hour of the show.
We got some Todd Niedenfeuer.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Niedenfeuer from the Orioles.
Niedenfeuer. Some Mickey Hatcher.
Oh sure, Mickey.
For the podcast listeners, IFG is so good at just whipping these cards. She's showing the cards to the camera, and then she just whips them behind her.
Yeah,
flies off into
cat's running away. She's getting hit by cards. What's this one?
Blue Jays legend John Joseph Cerruti.
Oh yeah,
John Joseph Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I don't know who these people are. I was 4 years old this season. I have no idea.
I was collecting. What year is this? 91?
89.
89. Oh, I was definitely
89.
Oh, you got any Cubs in there?
I don't know. We got some William Raymond Brennan.
Never heard of that guy.
Like this is his rookie season. I don't know. He's a Dodger.
Yeah, this is his last season.
Look, it's the Eck.
Oh, X. Look, he's got the same hair he has now.
Oh,
amazing. Look at that.
Dennis Eckersley.
Mustache.
Never change. Never change, Eck.
You know what? So I pointed out that this group of young Cubs is nowhere near as good looking as our last group of young Cubs. And
they are so
it's
much
all
better
about the mustache. Eckersley makes that mustache work. Ben Brown does not. PCA does not. Keegan Thompson does not. They're
children. They gotta hit puberty first. They're not like eating meat full of like bovine growth hormone or something like we were.
Eckersley has like half a cow hanging under his nose.
Yeah.
See. All right, we got some Don Slott. Don Slott. Look at that mustache. That's a great. He looks like
Don Slott. That's like onslaught. Like that's a pretty cool name to have.
It really is.
An onslaught from the Don Slott. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't believe he wasn't a football player.
Ooh, another good name. Another good mustache. This is a great year for mustache.
Kevin Gross. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Gross. Look at that dude.
I'm gonna say gross on Kevin Gross's mustache.
It does Mr. Head.
That's another great name. Steve Lombardozzi. I don't know.
That guy. He was the Nick Madrigal of his time.
Clearly, look at him. He looks like he's about 5'2".
Yeah, he was.
He is 6 feet tall, allegedly 175. Maybe like in cleats, standing on second base.
I'm always amazed. Look, I know I'm kind of a chubby middle-aged guy, but when I hear that people are 6 feet tall and 175 pounds, I'm like, where is your weight? What does that do? I don't even understand.
Ooh, my gosh. I don't know. I love the Brown Padres era. There's Sean Abner, nice outfielder. He looks dumb as hell. Look at that dude.
Yeah, he does. There's some vacant eyes.
Yeah.
6'1", 190. Bats right, throws right from Mechanicsburg, PA.
Mechanicsburg.
I'll go through there.
I will agree that I like the Brown Padres era, but I will say I like the current Brown Padres era better. I like the way that they've reestablished that connection. Yeah.
Delicious. Matt Weiss.
Sure, he was good.
Man, I just love the Athletics uniform.
He's rocking the yellow Athletics jersey.
But look at him,
yellow
he's
and
grunting.
green.
What is this, 1989?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was fast though. He was
just like PCA. He'll bunt all day if he's fast.
We got some Mike Young.
Don't remember him too much.
Well, it's the Brewers. They were like brand new babies at that point, right?
Do you know
Great
why?
Mustache. He's got that whole he's got a good face.
Do you know why you don't remember him?
He looks kind. He looks like a kind man.
He had so few pictures. He had to pose for his picture. Like they couldn't get a picture of him at the plate or in the field. He had to go in and sit in front of the.
They're like, you got to go to Sears, man, and you got to get the 8x10 package. And
exactly.
to Tops because.
We We got Charlie Huff.
Oh, he pitched till he was like 83 or something like that. He was one of those knuckleball dudes. Who,
Oh, that's
he was like roughed up the ball. He'd scuff it.
But I love it. All
January
of these...
5th, 1948. So this is 1988. He is 40 years old in this picture.
Oh, yeah. Look, he can't even stand up
straight. Stirrups. He can barely move.
He's 40 years old, and yet he has an inaction picture, whereas the last dude had to go to Sears.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
He's more talented.
Went and had his glamour shots done. All right, last one. I got an
glamour
Andy
shots.
Hawkins.
Yeah, to have his makeup.
Look at that shot.
I remember hating that guy, and I'm not exactly sure why, but he was giving us problems or something. I wonder where.
Look at that high leg kick too.
Beautiful.
I honestly love the high leg kick.
Shot.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
Andy, kind of sexy. He's showing off a lot of leg and butt in that.
Go.
I'll tell you why I hate Andy Hawkins. He was on the freaking '84 Padres. That's
why I hate him. That's why.
Let's see. On the '84 Padres, he pitched 146 innings. He had 76 earned runs. He had an ER of 4.68.
He wasn't even that good.
I don't.
4.68
in '84. Let's see, 88.
But probably 0.4 against the Cubs.
He was a baby at that point, I guess. I don't know. His career ERA in 1989 was, or at the start of the season in '89 anyway, was 3.84. He played 199 games, 1,100 innings, and had 471
long career.
Runs. So not too shabby. Yeah, he contract status eligible for free agency after the '88 season. So, oh man, that's interesting. He was signed by the Padres in '78. I wonder who he played with in '89. I don't know, because like this, just like he was eligible for free agency at the time this card was printed.
Right.
I don't know where he went. I don't know anything about him.
Well, I could tell you because I'm on his baseball reference page. He had a 363. He had a 363 against the Cubs. So
who did he play with in '89?
In 1989, I get to that page. He played
because that was his free agency season. Oh, he signed with the Yankees.
Waller chimed in. He knew before you, Danny, that he was on the '84 Padre.
Well, that's why. As soon as I saw his name, I was like, that fucking guy.
Why do I hate that guy inexplicably?
Yeah. Well, and I remember that Donruss didn't always have all the years on their cards too. So, boy, we're going freaking strong. It's like 10 minutes till 11 right now, and we're still freaking opening packs.
Yeah. Waller says without looking, I think he started game 4.
Oh, I could look that up too because I'm here. Postseason, 1984. He started game. Actually, he didn't start it. But he did pitch quite a few innings. Didn't give up anything against the Cubs within the playoffs, and he pitched in game 4 and 5 games that they both won. So
amazing.
Yeah. So we do have some TFCs. I do, at least. I don't know what you guys have. We got baseball cards. We got TFCs.
Oh no! Hold on. Did we
have
do the next Cubsler?
Oh no, we didn't.
Woo!
All right, we'll do it quick. Neither poor nor soft. This Canuck could really toss. Won a division with the Cubs, inducted into a Hall of Fame in 2019, 2 days after his rotation mate. We're going to put this up on the Cubs Discord or the Sunranto Discord.
Yeah.
And then I'll also put it on Sunranto Twitter. Go out there if you want to look at this so that you can study what it is here, because you do need to study these things and look up what's happening. By the way, all the people who looked up Alex Avila apparently came up with Avila Pickled Farms.
Yeah, I saw that.
There was some farm that pickled all sorts of shit, and they were just like, "Oh, it must be Alex Avila then."
Yeah, you're giving Michael too much credit that he's gonna go into like some pickles farms. I'm
looking at Wikipedia, and they're like, I just chased this down to Alex Avila Farms.
So I have a TFC, but before I do that, I forgot to share this link. This is the contest for Blake Beard's tickets. So TFC. All right, cool. And then we really should end. We really should. This is the.
I mean, we really should. I don't think anybody wants us to.
I think they do. I actually think.
I don't think anybody wants us to. I think people love what we're doing, or at least I love what I'm doing.
Here's my TFC of a guy loving doing what he's doing, and that was sitting in the audience to the Red Sox and Cubs game. And I took a picture. There's this guy. It looks like he's wearing the Pat Hughes sweater, and he sort of looks like Tor Johnson from the old Ed Wood movies. And Lyle's got this big TV, this big screen TV, and this guy was just on there the whole game, just looking like Tor Johnson from the Ed Wood movies, and he just had his arms crossed, and he looked like. Just kind of like
he's so pissed that he's there.
Pissed off. Yeah, he looked pissed off. And Gary Yonker commented on that photo. The guy said, "Someone rub a lamp,"
which is amazing because this dude is very heavy set. He's got his arms crossed, but also his hair looks like it's shaved on the sides, and so it kind of looks like he's got a ponytail, like the Aladdin's lamp ponytail thing going on,
like a yakuza, like a samurai kind of kind of deal going on.
Exactly.
He definitely looks like he's about to fly away on a flying carpet. That is for freaking sure.
And when Gary Yonker said that, someone rub a lamp, I lost my shit. I laughed so hard because it absolutely is. Will Smith could never be as good a genie as that guy. All right.
I think I got the Cubs layer. I think.
You put it in the chat.
You should, because it's not hard. I'm doing my best to bring people into these things. And I thought
I'm not very good at this game, so when I get it right, I'm very proud of me.
I thought Pickles Dillhofer was going to be somewhat easy. And apparently it was the hardest one I've ever put out there. So, all right. So here's my TFC. This is from the game today. Nugget 136, who identifies himself as a Mets fan, says, genuinely didn't even celebrate the great play because I expected catcher's interference to be called. You've truly broken me, Manfred. You win. And this is on the play where Morel gets thrown out at home. He thought it was going to be catcher's interference. Everyone understands what that means. Except for maybe Cy Beast ID, who is also a New York Mets fan, who decided to be the well actually guy. And this makes me hilarious. I laugh. He says, you mean obstruction? Catcher's interference is a completely different. And he doesn't finish his sentence, which is amazing.
No, he did.
Catcher's interference is completely different.
Different.
I thought it was is a completely different thing is what I was expecting. But yeah, is completely different. Yeah.
Go get those
fuck off, Cybeast ID. We all know what he's talking about. It's obstruction versus fucking interfere. Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Yeah. Exactly.
We all know what the fuck he's talking about. And the idea was not about whether it was interference or obstruction. It was that Rob Manfred has ruined this game for us.
Well, if you're looking for incongruous thought processes, the internet is really a great place to find them.
I went to trivia last night and had an argument over what's the difference between a ground rule double and an automatic double. So I'm just saying, like,
oh, I've been loving actuallying that at the ballpark in the bleachers.
They're like, oh man, it's a ground rule double. We double checked it. It's a ground rule double. I'm like, no, you're wrong. It's an automatic double. I'm sorry.
No, but you have to say, well, actually.
Well, actually.
Well, actually.
No, it was a whole thing. Anyway,
Automatic.
Not only do you have to say, well, actually, you have to write it on like a sign, and then you need to smash that sign over their head. Yeah. It says, well, actually.
Ground rule double is field specific, whereas an automatic double is consistent throughout all parts. Anyway, it's fine. My CFC is fairly simple. It is a thing. It's a wild box score. I like to preach the idea that no lead is safe. The Colorado Rockies had a 5-run lead in the first inning. And by the end of the 9th inning, the Miami Marlins, the Florida Marlins. I'm going to call them the Florida Marlins until I die. In the 9th inning, tied them up.
They scored 5.
Love it.
Beautiful.
I don't think I've ever seen a box score like that. That's amazing.
Gorgeous.
5 in the first from Colorado and 5 in the 9th from Miami.
And I think, Cotton, you and I can both agree this is the point where the game ended, because who gives a shit what happened after that?
Exactly.
100%.
Especially
That's a tie.
Especially between those two teams. Like, I don't give a shit what happened to them really in any way, shape, or form, period, end of story. So, all right. Hashtag chance in the chat, and you still have a chance to get a chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. I got all those out, and we got a bunch of people in here, but let's draw it. Boom.
By the way, for anyone wondering, both IFG and Danny have given me wrong answers for the Cubs so far.
Okay. Everett Tosher is the winner.
Game. Yay, Everett Tosher!
Congratulations. I will be contacting you soon via post.
I think that might be.
Send it out by carrier pigeon.
Is that a first win?
I believe it is.
Everett has been in the chat for quite a while, but I believe that might be Everett's first win.
Congratulations. So we've talked our way out of going to the Discord now. So congratulations.
It's been 3 hours and I haven't had dinner yet.
It's 3 hours. I'm starving too. I did not eat enough food. I would like to thank all of our Patreon supporters for supporting our show. It is very nice of you. Patreon.com/sunranto is where you do that. And then you can hear the Daily Cubs pod, which is awesome. And I'd also like to thank Bleacher Bunch Productions for putting on our show, and the Fans First Network who host us. And also our super duper ranters, Rogue Wave Creative, Mike Wallen, the Cubs PS Plus podcast, and Blake Beard's incredible tickets, which he so generously donated. Also, Matt Kammerer, Permanent Paintings in the Clutch shirts, and you can find us on any podcast app. Tell your friends all about it. Join us on Facebook. Join us on Instagram. Join us on TikTok. Join us on Twitter. Join us everywhere we can be joined.
Honestly, get on Patreon because you get all of this content in 20 to 30 minute increments every day.
Yeah, every day. It just keeps going. This is just part of our lives.
We just can't shut up.
Yeah, so we just keep it going over there. So that's it. We have a website, sunranter.com. Please come to Ranterfest. Buy your tickets early and often. And
I need tickets early and often.
And I guess from this point on, I have to say Spagog.
Spagog!
Spagog!
I'm coming back to Wrigley with a ticket in my hands. No ring upon my finger because I am just a fan. And I spent most of my money on sausages and beer. But I was there when they won it that year. A pressured anticipation had the city tightly wrought with a 5-3 combination as the sailing ball was caught. Half a dozen generations who would live to see the day the Cubs would take the season all the way. Now we're coming back to Wrigley. We're coming back to Wrigley, where the ivy cities of the vanquished have to turn around and look as history's inscribed into the books. We're coming back to Wrigley. We're coming back to Wrigley. There'll be no talk of losing while the bleacher bums are bruising by the flags. And we'll pay more for the peanuts, we'll pay more for the beer, 'cause we're paying for the players that can win another year. We're coming back to Wrigley. We're coming back to Wrigley. We're all a little tougher, so let's just go win another one. We're all a little tougher, so let's just go win another one. We're all a little tougher, so let's just go win another one. We're all a little tougher, so let's just go win another one. We're coming back to Wrigley. We're coming back to Wrigley. We're coming back to Wrigley. We're coming back to Wrigley.